Good evening. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Fool's Landing, our Advanced Dungeons and Dragons 2nd Edition campaign set in the Forgotten Realms. I'm Jamie. I will be the Dungeon Master, and we are joined today by several of our heroes who are available this evening to jump back in. And I'll introduce you guys the way I have you on the screen, going from left to right, starting with Chris. Good evening.
Hey there, I'm playing Kurza, the 4th level elven wizard.
Yes. And next up, we have Wayne.
Hello, yeah, I'm Wayne. I'm playing a third level aquatic elf of Valkyr, which is the god of the wind and the seas and the sails. And apparently I'm just about to get mixed up with a group of, I don't know these guys, but we're attacked together, so now we're brothers, right? We're brothers, right?
You've bled together,
Yeah.
or at least been under duress together. Yeah, that's true. And
The opportunity to bleed.
his name is Seharn. Is that how you say it?
Yes,
Seharn.
that's how I
Yeah.
say it. Sehar.
Awesome. Good to have you.
Plus,
Oh yeah, he is a priest, correct? A cleric.
Priest, yes, an aquatic priest, yes.
uh,
I've left his homeland to learn herbalism of landers. Like, how do you land people heal with herbs? Like, I might know a little
Mm.
bit from the sea, but I don't know them. And then read the word of my deity, and then this happened. So here we are.
Your paths crossed in Procampur. Good to have you, and excited to see more of Seharn. Last but not least, we have Tim. Hello.
and my name is Tim. I'm playing Griff, the third level ranger, who is on a quest to seek out Usus who may be taking over ancient civilizations underground. Ran into these guys, Procampur, and he'd never seen a blue elf before.
Yeah, definitely
Oh,
a new sight for
yeah,
him.
not a lot.
Aren't supposed to be
Not,
blue?
not a lot of my people, leave the sea for any length of time.
Yeah, and they're kind of vary in shade. It's a little bit of a silvery kind of blue almost that
Right?
his skin is, and some of it has to do with again, where they come from regionally. But I believe you're thinking that Seharn has come from the Sea of Fallen Stars, so he's familiar and from the region at least.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
perfect.
We hang out with sailors. That's about it. If you're not a sailor, you probably never saw us.
Yep, and you're about the only people who can put up with the sailor's smell, so it's okay at the end of the day. But yeah, let's cut over real quick to our XP, and I did go through and do the XP awards from the last couple of sessions. I had to catch up for some of the others, and then I put last sessions in here. So let's do a quick check. Here's the latest, greatest. I think Kurza, you're at 14,619, which pretty much is right in
Yeah.
the middle of level 4. So you're about
Yep.
halfway there to 5. And
Wow.
Ronnie is right a shade under 15,000, but he's also in the middle of a level. He's in level 5. Amithra, she's just to double check. She's at level 4, or yeah, she's at level 4, and she's still climbing there. I need to double check, make sure hers is right, but I think it is. And then our new guys, you each got XP from last session as well, so you've got started, we'll say. And there was a battle at the end of last session, so maybe we can pick up there, and just recap sort of what you guys remember, how you would like to summarize last session.
Well,
I don't know.
To,
Go
I
ahead.
think from my perspective, like from Sehar's perspective, summarize, like these guys were just coming down the street, right? And then we started a conversation. And we'd spoken about how they were being followed by two different groups around town, and then one of them jumped us.
Yeah.
So
Right.
So what? So
And
maybe Urza, you can jump in, but what I remember is I was at the temple and I was looking for information on Medusas because I'm basically on a quest to gather
Yes.
information. And
Yeah,
then
one of the
yeah,
priests um, found we were looking for the same thing and put the two of us
yep,
together,
yep.
or the rest of the party, I should say. And we found some information on Medusas, and
Hmm.
we
So
may
we
go
went
back there.
together. Yeah, we went together. I had heard that you specifically Curza had been familiar with or seen a Medusa and knew where some were, and also an ancient civilization of maybe dwarves. And so I tagged along with you guys. We picked up some information and gear to battle Medusas, and then headed to docks to where we were going to get a boat, and that's when we ran into Sehorn.
Yep,
You were told to look for the blue elf, in
Yeah,
right.
fact, right? And
To
yeah.
find a boat out, and I guess we have found a boat out, just not quite in time
we found the
for
blue elf, and then we got
some
jumped
more.
by
Yep.
we got jumped by a group
The
of
what is it? The flaming
fire
Fire
knives.
knives.
fire knives. There we go.
Yep.
right. I
Yeah,
don't
we'll
think they
leave all their little logos and stuff on them, I think,
Yeah, so they
because
jumped
I don't
us.
need them.
We defeated them, and then we dragged them into an alley, and we were going through their corpses to find out who they were and realized they were fire knives. One guy was still alive, and then we heard the city guard or somebody approaching.
Yeah. Yep. That sounds about right. Anybody have anything else they want to add?
Yeah, I guess that's about it.
Sounds pretty good. I mean, I think you were considering your next moves when we ended, and there was a some noise coming down the alleyway. I think Griff and Amithra then had noticed the noise coming down the alleyway, and there's a suspicion it might be the guards. It's coming from the direction where they're stationed, and there was certainly some noise from the combat, not necessarily loud screaming or anything to that effect, but the sound of combat rang out a little bit, and looks like it may have caught some attention. But you guys do have a few moments here if you want to look at this map. I did kind of extend it a little bit so you can see on the map how far away the guards are, and the fact that they're walking towards you, or in your direction. They still we have to figure out if they're seeing you or not. So I guess I want to pick up with you all and give you a chance to make some moves here, um, based on the pace that they're walking. You guys will basically have about 2 actions before they're right around the corner from you is where we're at. So I'll start with Griff, since you're the one that's most exposed, and I think you're the only one of the three here tonight that knows essentially what's happening in the alleyway. So I'll give you a chance to take sort of 2 actions here. What 2 actions would Griff like to take?
Y'all
So
all already know that there are guards coming, right?
Not yet. Not yet. He
Oh,
and
okay.
Amithra had just spotted them when we ended, so it's really still not quite known to you. I think you and Seharn are looking still and recovering the objects from the dead here. Um, so what would you like to do, Griff?
so first, I want to do I can I make eye contact with either one of the Seharn or Kurza?
You may, if you'd like.
Okay.
You can get their attention.
I want to make eye contact and just say, I see guards. And say it quietly, and I want to move here, try to hide.
Okay. Yeah. If you don't, if you have a skill maybe like in
Hide
that.
in shadows.
yeah, I don't know if what your
I really
chances.
basically just want to get around the corner so I'm not standing in the middle of the street.
Yeah, I
But I
think
still want to be able to see Kurza and Siharn.
I would say we'll do both.
Kind of motion them
Yeah,
back.
do that and then do a dex check as well. So I think hide in shadows is just like, oh, they don't even see you. But dexterity
Okay.
might be that that you're able to kind of get out of the way before they even know where you went.
All right.
Okay. They're probably
Any
though
modifier?
going to see the bodies, right?
Well, we dragged him into that little area. You guys, that's what we had done at the end of the last session. From what I remember, we dragged him into that little
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
area.
Okay.
And yeah.
Yeah, there might be a little blood splatter in the alleyway, but there's no bodies, and it would just be
Well,
blood
it's
splatter
dark
on
yet,
other blood splatter, so not really that noticeable.
What's a little dirt?
Okay, so Griff, you've done that. You've
So
notified the
those,
team, and you've moved in.
Yeah.
Really, it's a free action to talk. So if there's something else that you wanted him to do,
yeah. So
in this
I guess
moment.
so we know how far away the guards are. I was gonna point at a Mithra and the unconscious guy and say hide, but it's not here. And then suggest that maybe we flag down the city watch and tell them that these are fire knives. What do you guys think? Or run?
I'm more inclined to not encounter the city watch at all, because you've told us that, or Seharn has told us that they're part of the ones that were watching us. So the less we encounter them, the better, perhaps. Can I do
So
a coup de grace on of non-lethal on the last guy there?
Yeah, you can take that action. We'll have Kurza go next. Let me just.
I'm just gonna coup de grace a non-lethal on that guy and be done with it. How tall is this wall over here?
That wall is about 15 feet high before it hits the top.
Not easily climbable.
It's climbable. It's certainly climbable. I mean, I don't know about how Kurza would think about that. How good of a climber he is.
that almost
Yeah.
Because
looks
there
like
is
a two-story building.
right. It would be the face of the wall, but there are bricks and places you can hold your hands. So it's climbable.
Well,
Ronnie could probably climb it pretty damn easy. I would say that. I don't know about how Kurza would feel. What he think his chances would be.
I'm thinking the other option would be to just scoot across here real quick and then off the map that way. Because I don't want to remain in their eyesight trying to go down this far. And there's no other doors in this.
Yeah, I would say it this way that, and I'm looking at your character sheet. You don't really necessarily have any skill in climb walls, but
No.
due to the surface of the wall here and the fact that there are handholds, you might have about a 15% chance to climb.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm not going to take a 15%.
Yeah, it's still not your
That's
thing.
pathetic.
Yeah, it's not your.
Yeah.
I mean, you have maybe spells that could help you climb eventually, or I don't know if you have anything like that now, but.
No, I have a web spell to make sure they can't follow us.
Yeah, that is handy. So okay, what else would Kurza like to do? He's done the coup de grace. You
And
checking out
I'm
the wall
saying,
doesn't
like,
count as an action. You're just looking.
yeah. I'd say we run for this opening and then just go as fast as we can down and to the left.
You're saying head for the ships.
Make a run for it. Is Kurza's
Make
call.
a run for it and get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say for story points, like they're supposed to find the blue elf and they're looking for a ship, right?
Yep.
So yeah, I'm gonna suggest that I lead them to a ship, possibly might provide safe haven, a hiding place.
Then
Will
let's
that
go
work?
now.
Huh?
Yes. Let's go now.
All
Do
right.
it that way.
So, Curza, go ahead and do then a dex check, and then you can make your movement on the screen after you make the dex check.
What's the dex check for?
This is really just because you're. Are you gonna sprint? Are you trying to like run across the alleyway fast enough that they don't notice you? You know, is that what
Kind
you're
of the
trying to?
idea. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that the dex check is sort of maybe your how fast you're able to kind of get started and run across the alleyway, and you don't have a problem with it. So you really shoot across the alleyway almost like a bullet, to the fact that to them it would look like, like a flash as you cross the road. So go ahead and move. I think you have 60 feet, so you can go ahead and move him. Is that right? Is it 60?
That seems about right.
Yeah, for a full turn if you're using all your movement. Yeah. All right. So Kurz is gone, Griff's gone, and Seharn, you are up.
Roll d20.
What
Go
do
to your character sheet, attributes, standard, and you should be able to make a dex check
Right.
straight from there.
Yeah.
Opening up character sheet. Attributes.
And if you click directly on where it says ability scores, click on the dexterity.
Yeah, there's a die with dexterity as a button.
Modifier 2, enter. Doesn't need to have a plus.
Hmm?
No bonus.
No bonus on that. All right. But you were able to pop down the steps basically and make the leap across the alleyway in a pretty efficient manner. So you can go ahead and make your move as well. Um, I'm curious, as you ran by the alleyway, what is Seharn doing? Is he just head down, running down, across the road, keeping his head straight ahead and trying to duck, or what is
Nope.
his motion like?
Yep, stooping low, trying to stay in the darkness and slinking along the edge of the wall. How's that?
Got it. Perfect. Okay, so you are there, and with that, is there anything else? Because you actually have more time. If there was something else you wanted to do, you would have one more action.
No, I don't think there is anything to do right now but escape as quick as possible. We can deal with everything else after we're out of the guard site.
Yeah, so you would be able to make it as far as Kurza is gone, if you're using both of your actions to move here, before.
I really can't see curves on that. Okay, I can sync it now.
Oh, okay.
All
Keep
line up.
following it down and around.
There we go.
There we go. All right. So Griff, it is you're hearing the guards getting a little closer down the alleyway. I'm gonna move them, and I'll give you a chance to make your move. So they start coming down the alleyway. You guys can see, I think, them on the map, and they reach this point here when, Griff, if you would roll a wisdom check. And I need to actually take a peek at, and I meant to spend some time with you guys at the beginning of the session talking about non-weapon proficiencies to make sure that you have them all and that we're using them a little bit more frequently if we can, like leaning on them somewhat. I don't know if you guys even know what each other's are, even to that extent to where you might be able to lean on the strength of your party by knowing what each other are capable of from a non-weapon proficiency standpoint.
And we just met.
Yeah.
Well, if I could add to that, that's all right. Yeah, I'd like to see us get together other than, in between the games that maybe before or after or someday in between, and chat.
Mm-hmm.
get to know each other, fill all that stuff in, and then yeah, other than just meeting, talk about the game session in between, like either before or after or on a different day. If people are interested in that, would help bond us and make the game flow better.
Sure. Yeah, I think like
Yeah,
having a
even in
check-in.
Discord or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Yeah, especially with two new guys in the group, it'd be nice to get everybody more familiar with each other. But as far as the in-game stuff goes, I think you make a great point, Tim, that you guys just met, right? You don't necessarily know what each other are capable of,
yeah,
but you
true.
will over time. You will certainly over
Yeah.
time. So, but yeah, if you wanna see, did you go ahead and
Want me
make
to
a
do
wisdom?
wisdom? Right. Good. I'm gonna-
Unless you have, and I always, this is the disclaimer, unless you have a non-weapon proficiency that's more specific, meaning like observation or something along those lines, maybe.
Survival, yeah, tracking, foraging.
Okay, yeah, so we'll just do wisdom here. Okay. So what's Griff up to then as you hear them, heading down the alleyway?
So I guess I see these guys take off running, and I peek around the corner and I see these two guards approaching. Uh, can I judge whether or not I think I can get across this gap? What time of day is it?
It's the middle of the
Nighttime,
night.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it's nighttime right now, so there's still some light in the alleyway. There's definitely still some lanterns and other things that are keeping it lit. Um, so it's not impassable or anything. It's not pitch black.
So I guess using my um hide and shadow / move silently knowledge, I want to try to figure out a way to get um across that gap.
Sure.
Uh,
Yeah, if you want to do a hide in shadows or
yeah, I
yeah.
just want to I want to get across there. I'm just trying to look to see, do I think I can get away with it? Am I far enough away and is the lighting
I think, I mean, if you want to, we can, based on your wisdom check, I think you wouldn't be sure. You would be feeling
okay?
uncertain about it
All right,
because
I'm gonna
you're
try
not
it.
sure. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go for it. So I have 12 move. I don't know what that means. And
I think it's 120. Is that right?
We have
But
cantrips in this version.
no, there's no cantrips.
Okay.
I don't know. 12.
Well, actually, for you,
Oh,
Griff, you're going to. Are you going to try to hide in shadows as you're crossing, or
No,
or do any of that?
because
Okay,
the hide and shadows is stationary. So
I got you.
I'm gonna do my best to stick to the shadows, but move across as quickly as I can, and then try to follow these guys.
Okay. So yeah, you can just go ahead and do your dex check as well, just to see how well you're able to sort of leap this and run across this alleyway. All right. Yeah, so you're able to kind of get it, as well in one stride, get yourself across pretty quickly and not make really any much more commotion or draw attention to yourself. And you make it across and see the others who have headed down the let's see, they've headed down the alleyway, so you can catch up with them. Um, what is your guys' plan? I guess where are you trying to head ultimately here?
to a ship, right?
Sounds good to me.
Yep, to find safety and security.
All right. So let me just
So
double
yeah, I
check.
guess when I catch up, I just say to Cursa and point at Sehar and I say, "Is this the blue elf that gets us to the ship?"
So the theory goes. I don't think we're going to find any other blue elves in this town.
All right. Yeah, and I think at that point, I think you don't You may have been expecting when you crossed the alleyway for them to holler at you if they would have seen you, and you don't hear anything to that effect. However, you definitely hear the movement behind you as they get, closer to that area. And, again, you guys are going to head towards the Sea District, or excuse me, the harbor. So let's just take
Yeah.
a look real quick at the,
Away from here first, and then towards
yeah,
the harbor.
There we
let's
go.
hop over to this map and I'll update what's going on here. I think we had, um,
Yeah, so we had just crossed into that harbor area. What I remember.
We're here.
no, you're in the Sea District. You guys you were where Seharn is at on the map here.
Oh, okay.
I
I
just
see.
need to move the other ones. There you go. Yeah, that's the Sea District. So that's where, it certainly has a lot of seafaring individuals running around in it. And this is where you had also been to the Smelly Anchor, which was one of the taverns where you made a few contacts and learned a little bit more about ships and their availability. But now you've got your direct contact here who's going to take you towards that. So you guys can kind of see the grid, if you will, of the way the streets are laid out. And I'm going to put you together. I guess I'll just have the party token. That might make most sense.
Sure.
And have you all together, assumed to be together. So we are kind of here where this.
Did anybody get hurt
crossroads.
in that fight?
I don't think I did.
Mithra was the only one who didn't have full, I think, or if anyone else was missing hit points, it was only it was a small amount.
I guess as we're running or jogging along, I'll ask that. Is anybody injured?
I'm slightly wounded, but yeah, I'm sound, still sound.
All
I'm
right.
down like 7 hit points.
I only got paralyzed, so
Oh,
no
yeah,
actual
Yeah, no,
damage.
I just got weakened.
That was
I
just
didn't.
torture.
I didn't get hit either.
That was more torture than it was physical damage for poor Kurza. All right.
Can't do anything
Okay. Yeah, just sit there and watch it.
except for except for the end when I whacked the last one.
So you guys, the three of you slip out of that immediate alleyway and back into the main thoroughfare, if you will, to where you can make decisions now about the path you want to take to get to the harbor and how you want to be traveling. It's just maybe not wanting to draw attention to yourselves by running at full speed the whole way, kind of thing.
Just
Or
run at full speed for no reason.
yeah, or maybe there's something else you wanted to do to throw them off your trail, because you might suspect that they may, if they discover
Possible
this,
dwarf.
they could set.
So I was going to suggest that Seharn, you take the lead, and I'll watch our backs as we go. Just to
And
make
I'll
sure
just
we're
kind
being
of
followed.
I'll cover up. Just so I'm
So
not looking like myself.
Put up weapons away.
Okay.
like that tower is that I'm ping on the map. Is that a gateway through
That's a
to
gate.
from one
Yeah.
to another? An
Yep.
open gate?
All the gates
So
have security. All the gates have guards. Every gate you've been through or in town, you've seen some number of guards there, and it just
Sure.
differs by district.
sure.
Have-
We
have
have a
they
reasonable
raised-
chance.
Go ahead.
We can just walk right through here reasonably, right? So I say let's take this way.
Have
then
they
maybe-
raised an alarm yet?
Well, we haven't yet heard an alarm.
Okay.
Doesn't mean that you won't, but I'm gonna have you guys do, and this is why I wanted to understand what your marching order was and what you guys are doing as you're traveling. I assume you're walking fast, or are you still running? Trying to use full speed, or
I think we run. This is just me, guys. I think we run far enough to where we're in, a couple corners away, and then slow down to a walk, and then listen.
Yeah, we're in
Stop.
town.
Yeah, we don't want to really run, but just
Yeah.
take a few
Couple
turns
corners and
quickly
Mhm.
yeah.
to make sure we're out of line of sight, and then we can slow down a little bit so we're not
See if we hear alarm, 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 or something like that.
that too.
Yeah.
Right?
But we don't want to cause ourselves to be noticed because we're running.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't take that long in town just to blend into the general citizenry. So
Well,
I
It's just
suggest we
it's
just
night.
Yeah, it's just that it's the middle of the night and there's not that much to
that
help you.
much,
You know,
that much.
yeah.
3 guys with blood all over them running down the middle of the street.
Good,
It-
good. Even less chance
it's
of being seen.
it's certainly not, empty. The streets aren't completely
Blend right in.
empty, but it's not like the daytime here right now. It's a little slow.
You guys just got caught in a bar fight. That's all.
Look, we're just going to the ships. If anybody asks, I'm teaching you of the ways of Valkyr. All right, you're curious, and I'm teaching. That's
Um,
it. We're just
Oh,
walking
we're
you
heading
through.
off to we're heading off to your ship. So
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so
the story.
we'll follow
Perfectly
Sahar.
normal.
I'll watch the back, make sure nobody's following. Keep
Yeah.
my eyes on
yeah.
the rooftops, the alleyways, everything we pass by as we
Right.
go.
So that's the plan, Jim. We're just going to walk the normal pathways at a normal pace and make it to wherever the ship is.
Yeah, I think that then, what we'll do is we'll have when you guys make it and I'm gonna move you here. Basically, we're gonna kind of have I'm gonna have 2 rolls because you're passing through 2 different blocks to get out of the district. So I'll make
No.
2 different rolls to see what attention, if any, you may draw or what you might see as you pass through. And I think for the fact that you're trying to blend in and trying to be somewhat stealthy as you pass through, we could have whoever you'd like from the group make a roll to see how stealthy you're traveling as a team. So whoever maybe has the best dexterity might want to make the check. But yeah, just do a dexterity check and I'm just doing the minus on my side. Just do a dex check for whoever
Well, I
wants.
have a 16.
I've got a
18.
15.
You're,
Guess I'm rolling.
you're fairly dexterous.
I have 18.
Straight up roll, Jamie. You're doing the modifier. Okay,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm doing the modifier.
there you go.
Griff's rolling for us.
Success.
Either way,
That's all right.
that works.
Sahar did it.
Yeah, Saharan. Okay, so
And
Oh,
successfully.
I didn't hear you say you had a higher number. I thought you said
I
like
had
was it
18.
Oh, I heard 8. I apologize.
8.
Sorry.
I'm a ranger.
I'm sorry.
It worked. It
The
worked.
music's
So
a
what the
little
See,
heck?
bit loud.
this is why we need to meet in between sessions to get to know this.
Yeah.
No,
For sure.
the
Um,
music's a little bit loud on my end. So
you can
I don't know if anybody else is hearing that, but
you control the music level on your settings if you go to audio video chat. Is that the case for the rest of you?
Yeah, I turned it down a long time ago.
Okay.
I don't think I actually hear any music.
Yeah, I know everyone's got it at a varying level, so you can control that, Wayne.
looking
Master
for it.
music volume level. Up in the upper right, my settings, audio and video.
Yep, audio video chat.
Right.
You got a master music volume level. Yeah.
Right on.
That's beautiful. So much better. Thank you.
Technology.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love
and
it.
then that'll apply to all of your. I think that'll apply to all of the scenes, so it'll be the level you like. Yeah,
Okay.
unfortunately, I
See,
can't.
Wayne, back when we played D&D, you didn't have to adjust the audio levels because we're all sitting in the same room. So
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
turn down
They
the
went
volume.
they went up and
No.
down with player excitement.
Yeah.
Or how angry we were at the DM.
All right. Well, these
All right.
guys are, or as you guys are passing around through the district, I'm just making a couple checks to see what we see.
And no need to roll. All good.
972.
Hey,
Yeah. So you make it. It's at first, you guys get out into the main thoroughfare. You pass for a little while, make it 100 yards or so until you reach another section, and that's when you hear a bell ringing from behind you, off in the distance from one of the far alleyways that you may or may not have been in. So
Uh-oh.
you start to hear that bell ringing
So
faintly in the distance.
about where did we have the encounter, and is our party token where? Okay, so we're only a couple blocks away.
Yeah, I'll just
So
put.
Yeah,
we
but I
were-
suspect the gate may not let anybody through since an alarm has been raised. So
That's what I was
I
afraid
sus-
of.
can we
Oh.
head to the same inn that we had the previous night in this district?
Trying to put the. There we go. You would need to go back, because that was in this up here.
which is close to the
It's
encounter area.
it's across from it.
This is the gate.
There's a gate that goes back to the Great
this one.
Way.
Is that a tower?
There's two
Right
gates.
here.
There's two gates here, so you can go back to the Great Way, and then try to enter the harbor from here. Or there's a small gate that goes through the tower that's also here. This is for those of you that would have been in town, which you guys have all pretty much been in town for a little while. You would know that this is something that some of the insiders would use as far as the dock workers and those that have influence. They would kind of pass through this.
Harn would know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more common that folks are going through the Great Way to enter the harbor.
So I would turn to Seharn and say that, does that mean that they'll close the gates to the harbor if the alarm goes? I haven't been
don't
here
know.
long.
If stats matter, I have a wisdom of 17, but I would think my chance of knowing that we probably have a better chance of getting through that gate right now than we do the main gate, right? Because that would probably be more alert and better guarded, and citizenry might be able to still get through this gate,
When you say this gate, which one were you thinking there?
the tower.
The tower? Yeah.
The tower, right? Because the main gate here is probably going to be more active, more likely to respond quickly. And maybe, I don't know, we have a chance to bribe our way through. Do I know anybody in this town? Probably not. But I'm a pilgrim in the dock area. I might have a small name.
You don't know like any guards or anything like that, but you know that offering a bribe would be risky, because you haven't done it in this town probably yet, I imagine.
Very lawful town, yeah.
Well, I'm in a schmooze, more of a schmooze than a bribe. Like, not offering cash. We could schmooze our way through, maybe if we had to. Right? Just passing through, going to bed for good night, gents, that sort of thing. What do you think?
Yeah, that'd be the best way to do it. Just kind of like, coming back from a bar, heading back to the ship.
That's it.
And we hope to, we found ourselves a ship out, so that's what
Yeah.
we're doing.
Don't act guilty.
You think so?
Um,
Thanks. We
so,
can
yeah.
all do this, right, guys?
Yeah,
Let's
yeah,
start.
yeah. So
All
I
right.
keep walking. I keep watching behind us to see if there's
Okay.
any activity, chasing or any running
Nothing
around in
seems to
circles.
be that focused on you. I think you, at this point, feel like you're not drawing any necessarily
tracking us.
additional attention. Yeah.
I want to try to, if there is any. I mean, I don't know what the streets are made of. Are they stone,
Yeah,
cobblestones?
they are. They're mostly cobble. There's some
It's
dirt
hard to-
tracks
hard to
too.
follow.
Yeah.
We're not leaving any obvious trail.
Right.
Well, I
But-
think for you, if you would go ahead and do a tracking roll, and we'll kind of use your roll to decide how well you can make sure you guys don't leave tracks, as it might be. So there we go. Then, yeah, I think that basically that would mean that Griff, is able to take some precautions to obscure any tracks or any techniques he would use to track your group as you're passing along. Since you are at the back, you could kind of erase the tracks and leave the trail that you want to leave. In fact, maybe even pointing them in the wrong direction, if that's something you wanted to
Yeah,
do.
walk backwards down an alleyway or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Seharn, you got hit, so not bleeding though.
Assume minor damage. Yeah. 7.
Like I said, you were in a bar fight.
Yeah.
All right.
No big
Somebody
deal.
didn't like the fact that you were a blue elf.
Little bruised, but yeah, I don't think I was stabbed and bleeding. So
My eyes still kind of linger every time I look at him. I'm like, that's natural.
right.
Well,
Never seen a
right.
blue elf before.
Clean them up a little bit.
I got roughed up, but yeah, no vital organs. We're okay.
could be normal for their type. We don't really know, right? He's setting the bar. So you guys make your way then basically past that main entry way towards the tower. The bell is kind of getting fainter behind you. You can definitely tell you're putting some distance between you and the tower gate. You start to smell the salt water and feel a little bit of the breeze from the sea as you're getting closer to that end of town. And then you kind of come up on the wall of Procampur with the exterior wall here and the part that separates these districts, and it's huge on the harbor side. It's a absolutely enormous wall with these towers connected in between it. And you guys come up to this tower, which you've not used before. It's you can see that there's a small iron gate at the front, and that it looks like behind the gate there are several people standing that you assume would be the guards that you need to speak with. So I'll let you decide how you want to approach that.
Approach it in a group, I guess.
Yeah, like what if we observed
Yeah.
normal citizenry would just walk through with a casual good night, gentlemen, and just try to
No,
pass through? No, that
so
doesn't work.
so
Okay.
typically this entrance is for people who are known to be working on the vessels, or even like higher ups, people, captains and crew from some of the vessels. Some of the people who work in the dock area use this entrance, but visitors and travelers and most other things take the main entrance that comes through the Great Way.
Always or usually? Like I'm asking because like maybe I could use myself as an oddity, like the the elf priest that's just known to be in the dock area wants to pass through to go to bed for the night.
Right,
If
right.
that's a story,
Is there
right?
some maybe likeness that you share with somebody? It's possible. I mean, but you definitely haven't seen too many of your type in town, so you feel
Nope.
like you probably are a unique sight
Yeah.
to most. And I think what you would expect is that they're going to ask you either what ship you work on or who you
Yeah.
work for when you get to this gate. That would be probably
What's the name of this ship again?
Yeah.
I don't know that part of the story, but we can assume I do in character. My character knows, hopefully. We'll
I
pass on
guess that
it.
would be my question. So we're following Seharn because he knows of a ship, or he
Yep.
was on a ship.
Yep.
yeah.
Is
So
that the case?
so so Harn, and I'll fill in that blank for you. And for clarity, you have a contact. You have a gentleman that you've worked with who can get you aboard potentially multiple ships, and his name is Furbus, and he is a dwarf.
Perfect.
And so Furbus is someone that you've worked for in the past, and he's been fair to you. He's somebody you trust, that if you think if you could find him in the harbor and speak with him, that he could get you aboard a ship, potentially tonight. That's how confident you are in Furbus. But
Furbus
you don't know
might
the names
even,
of the ships or anything. Like you wouldn't know exactly which ships are his or which ships he can get you on.
but he might know. He might know more about this Medusa thing too. So he might know the exact ship to get you
Well,
on.
we got to get through the gate first.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Right.
so
I guess
we're
what
working
we
for Furbus asked Saharn to get him a couple of people for
Yeah.
a trip on a ship. We don't know exactly what ship Furbus wants us to go to, but we need to. We've had our fun at the bar, and we're ready to go meet Furbus and find out what ship we're headed for.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I
Some
put my
purpose of his.
arms around both of you guys because I think, Seharn, how tall are you?
Not actually that tall, like 5'4", something like that.
Oh, okay.
I'm 4'11".
You're the
Are you really
yeah.
4'11"?
They're
Yep.
a little shorter than you.
Yeah.
Wow, they're way
There you-
shorter than me. All right. How are you 4'11"? All right.
It's within
So
the standard for high elves.
Yeah, it's a high
okay.
elf thing for him. I think for
So
Seharn as well. We looked up aquatic elf height, and
So I
I'm actually
tower over
not,
you
right?
guys.
I'm actually shorter, 55 inches, like 4.5 feet. Yeah,
oh, okay.
actually short. Not tall at all. Short and thin.
5'10". All right. So I walk up and I'm kind of leaning on these guys' shoulder. I guess we all walk up to the guard, and then
Okay. You guys,
I'll let yeah, see what the guards say.
whoever wants to speak, but yeah, you
Let's-
guys will walk up.
Let's just walk up like we're gonna walk through the gate.
All
What
right.
was this dwarf's name again? I've already forgot.
Say that again.
Ferber?
Oh,
Furbus?
Yep, Furbus.
Right.
So
So that's it.
when you approach the gate, you do see the three guards standing behind it, who are kind of just having a conversation. And as they hear you approach, and you start to reach for the gate, they say, they start to look at you. The gate does not, or who's reaching for the gate?
I don't know if we're reaching for it, but we're definitely approaching it to.
Yeah.
And slow down in front of it.
Okay.
Hopefully,
Yeah.
the bar's
I
closed. Is
kind
that
of
what
look
you're
over at
saying?
the guard and give him a kind of like,
Yeah, it's closed, and you can see right through
Is
it
there
and
a
talk
toll for
through
the
it.
night or something like that? We're just trying to get out to meet Furbus, and we just want to get on our boat and go.
So yeah. So if
I
that's
just kind of I just kind of throw in that there's
Okay.
is there a toll or something since it's nighttime and who knows what.
hang on, too fast. Where are you coming from, and where are you headed to?
We're coming from a bar. We're heading to meet Furbus, and then go to our ships from there.
Furbus.
coming from that way and we're going that way.
Yeah, he's
With
supposed
guy.
to be. He sent this nice blue elf here to find us for people to be
work.
on a ship for some work.
If Furbus needed people for an expedition, private affair. I don't know the details. I just found some hirelings. I'm taking them back.
Hmm. What ship will you be sailing out on?
Furbus has the details.
It's a bit unusual, but so is Furbus. Um, let's get a charisma check from all three of you. I want to see how they react to each of your
I was queued up.
poise here.
Oh, it was queued up. Modifiers here. Here we go.
We do have fortune. There are 3 fortune points that you may tap into as well, but this is just a more of a group response.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Well, apparently they're not believing our group. 2 out of 3 failed.
I'll use another
Yeah. See,
You-
well,
just because.
you got to be 2 out of 3 or all
yeah,
3,
you're gonna
or-
want 2 out of 3 of these to pass.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
All
There we
so
go.
All right.
All right. All right. So
Save the rest.
Yeah, you got 2 more fortune left for the evening. So I think it's a wise choice to use it here. So with that, they basically are trying to do a read on you to see how nervous you are, and you're staying poised. The 2 of you are staying very poised, more so than Seharn. So they're feeling like your story is plausible, and they say, well, the next time you come through this gate, make sure you know what the hell ship you're going to. And they open the gate, they squeak it open for you, and you kind of look across, like it basically goes into the bottom floor of the tower and crosses to the other side of the tower where there's another gate, and that gate looks like, you can pass through it now, as these guards are going to let you, walk through.
I'll just kind of like, thanks, gentlemen. Have a good night.
All right.
And keep on walking, I guess.
Right.
Let's go.
Then I guess we're going to make our way to wherever Furbus is known to hang out at.
Yeah, see, that's going to be the thing, because,
Yeah.
Purvis is a shifty guy, and,
Gets
you
around.
might have
So I
to
guess,
seek him.
yeah. So I guess I looked at Griff looks at Harn and says, "Okay, where to now?
Uh,
I've never been in this area of the city."
Neither has
I
Kurza, in fact, so I think for memory's
That's
sake,
true. How did you get here?
for Seharn. Well,
You guys came over land.
they
right
came over
to the
land.
most
Yeah.
Mhm.
the most likely tavern near the waterfront where I think Furbus would be findable. I must have met him somewhere in history, and that sounds like a good place.
Yeah,
Tavern directly along the waterfront in the shady part of town.
absolutely. Okay, so
Right? Yes.
yeah, let me grab some information about that real quick. And I'm gonna
Busy are the streets in this
That-
area.
Can I pop off for
One
12
second.
seconds? I want to run to the fridge and get a drink.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
please do. Yeah,
All right. Thank you.
give me a
Excuse me.
second to pull this information up.
That too.
Is there an equivalent of like negotiations or diplomacy in this game for proficiencies?
Let's see. I think that there is some, but I mean, there's definitely a lot of magic that can give you that. Let's see. As far as
What do you have? So etiquette, maybe.
I mean, it's gonna be a charisma based
Yeah.
non-weapon proficiency. Looking to see if there is one specific to this. It might be more
There
of
is
a
there is
growth.
a it's like haggling or something like that. I remember
Good.
looking for it.
I don't know what you're rolling for, but haggling sounds better than a save or die party rule.
Let's see. Is there one?
It doesn't matter.
There's
Don't
such
worry about
things.
it.
Well, no, I'm curious actually to see, because yeah, it's like some of the skills are covered by non-weapon proficiencies and others are not. It would be really good. Like you can intimidate, right, from strength or charisma. So it seems like you should be able to do this as well, as far as being deceptive, right? There is a fast talking, sort of being a fast talker, if you will, to try to confuse people, or get them to agree with you quickly. There is that skill, and it's more of a thief skill, but it's a charisma based skill. One more second. Let's see if there's another
It's
one.
cheese making.
You could always get into the trades. You could just settle down in Procampur and open a cheese shop.
Cheese.
Teaching.
I think a brewery would be far more fun.
There you go. That's
I have
the
that
good idea.
proficiency.
Rollership.
I actually have a seamanship proficiency now too.
Nice. Yeah, that's actually really helpful. Persuasion. There's a persuasion.
Diplomacy.
A persuasion that comes from the Ranger's Handbook of all places. It's a charisma based check.
Yeah. And there's a diplomacy also.
Yeah, diplomacy would be good. I would even take etiquette, if because again, I think
Yes.
etiquette's another great way to try to smooth over a situation like that. So there's definitely several charisma based specific skills
Call
that
it
help.
the C through PO skill.
Yeah. human relations.
Etiquette and protocol.
Yeah, well, I think I've got about as much charisma as C-3PO anyways.
That's
All right, let me.
Yes, it's that good.
that's my throwaway stat. So I'm not,
Yeah, mine too. It's a
not that
charisma of
guy.
11.
Yeah, mine's 12.
Almost as good as my constitution of 12.
I look like I've lived in the woods for a while,
I have strength
and
of
I
11 too. Yeah.
and I act like it. All right.
So the harbor, I wanna read you a little bit about the harbor. Most of this city, from what you've been experiencing, is pretty lawful, as you mentioned, pretty well structured, pretty rigid as far as the way it operates. But when you get into the harbor, it becomes noticeable that this is a lot looser here, and you see a lot more things that you haven't seen in the rest of Procampur in terms of what's been tolerated. It seems like there's a lot of ships, there's a lot of activity, even for this time of night. There's livestock and other things that are being moved about. The dock doesn't seem to sleep as far as what you're seeing. There's a small number of places here that are called bed and beer houses, which is great, considering that Chris just suggested opening a brewery. Not only could you open a brewery, you could open a bed and beer, which is a bunch of houses that crowd some of the disreputable areas, but you can get a place to stay and a beverage, and it's really nondescript and that sort of thing. So that's one of the things you would notice again as you're moving around. There's a lot of
Uh-oh.
warehouses, fisher folk, shipbuilders, stables to hold, and a lot of warehouses to hold the cargo that's coming and going out of the region. What else? There are some cheaper inns and taverns, like you said. I think we'll talk in a second about what some of those are, and I'll tell you about a couple of other things. So, just double checking.
Sleep in a stein for a silver.
Sorry about that disappearance there.
Good. I had to get one as well.
Yeah, you're all
This
good.
one.
So there are a couple notable places.
Caffeinated blackberry.
Ah,
Oh, nice.
nice. Yeah, I love bubblers, man.
Me too. Yeah, I'm drinking the Spindrift tonight. It's pretty good.
I
It's
just
water.
got water.
There's a place in this in the harbor where there is a harbor master who would be sort of the he's really kind of in control of traffic flow and the authority that goes on in the harbor, which is run independently from the city. So, they sort of have their own lead and mini government here in the harbor. So those are some of the things that you would know or observe as you're passing around in the area. And there are several taverns. Seharn, I'm gonna say, that when you came to the city initially, like you had said, that you were recommended one of the closest taverns to the harbor landing that you made, because that was what Furbus really enjoyed, was getting off the boat and going straight to the tavern. So I'll have you just roll a percentile, please, and then I'll pick one of these and we'll see, put you in there.
C100.
Look at that. My God.
Oh, nailed it.
Yes, you
Don't
did.
see a lot of those.
So it's
Hope
almost
for that
like
champagne.
it's almost like the point where you could close your eyes and walk there. It's how vivid your memory is of the tavern. Let me just find out what this one was.
Yes.
Might as well call it the unicorn. You don't see a lot of hundreds.
You really
I might
don't.
have fallen out of that place a couple of times. Sat there a little too long. Who knows? I know it well.
And
A chum bucket.
Let's roll with the chum bucket.
Let's
I will
go
roll
with
with the
that.
chum bucket.
Okay.
I had another one teed up with I like chum bucket better. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you get yourself to the chum bucket, which will be in an area where there's more of the maybe fishing vessels, right? And so it makes sense that it is there. It's definitely not the most reputable, but yeah, it's par for the course for the area it's in. And you guys make your way to the tavern. When you get there, you notice that there's not a whole lot of people in it, but when you do get in there and you look around, you do see a couple people kind of milling about. So um, you don't recognize Furbus right away or anything in there, but I'll give you a chance to interact and maybe see if you can find them.
How busy is it?
It's not that busy. There's only a handful of people in the whole place right now. There's a
So,
there's a bartender and it looks like a server and then about 3 patrons who are just scattered about. They're not even seated next to each other.
uh, nonetheless, I
Pick
keep,
a table maybe that we can
Yeah.
see the door from and backs to the wall.
Okay.
yeah, and I make sure again. I kind of huddle into myself when I'm around people. So,
Okay. Yeah, so you guys are seated, and even like from the bar, the bartender hollers over to you. What are you drinking?
3 beers. I'll hold up 3 fingers. 3 beers.
And he kind of like turns to the server who's seated, and says, "Here, coming right up." And he starts to get them poured, and she brings them over to your table and sets them down after a few moments, and you can smell the hops in this brew. It's pretty pungent stuff, but it's probably better than some of the things you've been having in the Sea District, actually, because this is
Could be.
not the bottom of the barrel stuff, but it's not the best you've had. Um,
No, but they brought it in and they feed the Sea District first and then let the city have the
yeah,
stuff that
right. You got to taste test
sounds
it.
better.
Exactly. So, one of those kind of
What's
deals. Yeah, for sure.
what's the cost on that?
It will be so for 3 of these, it'll be 3 silver.
I'll give her 4.
Much
Don't want to go
obliged.
crazy.
Much obliged.
I act like I'm drinking, but I don't drink any.
Oh no.
Okay.
Well, I
Um.
will definitely do.
So
So hard.
the server's a little nosy, after a minute, and you guys are maybe sipping your beverages and maybe even giving facial expressions to how you think about the drinks. She walks up and says to you, "How are your drinks? Would you like something else?"
Let me use my brewing roll and we'll see what how good the beer is, huh?
Nice.
What
Okay.
I get there.
I'll let you decide then what you think, what's Kurza think of this beer.
Uh, well, you said it was hoppy, so
I would say it's if you're thinking if you're as a brewer thinking of the quality of the beer, you actually think it's a decent quality. It's just not everybody's taste. Like it's probably not the most popular drink in other parts of town. It probably doesn't sell very well, but it's well made. So, it's an acquired taste maybe for some.
oh well then I'll just say it's perfectly fine. Not bad.
Oh. Well,
Kind of
Probably
a hoppy flavor, but not everybody might like that, but I got no problems with that.
I see you know your beverages. What about the rest of you? Are you enjoying it?
I just
I,
hold mine up and kind of
Just
nod.
watch it. Yeah, like Griff's just like pretend drinking his.
I'm still getting familiar too with this drinking thing, this land phenomenon. But I like it so far.
I
Yeah,
just
you're used to what? Breathing your liquids?
Mostly, yes.
I
As a
just
matter of fact,
I just realized I gotta make the proportion of these characters a little bit more
I
realistic
know.
since they're so small
I was
compared to
gonna say, yeah.
something like
How
Must
that.
be
tall
a
are
little
you?
taller than
How
everybody.
tall is Griff?
He's
5'10".
5'10". Yeah, so he's pretty damn tall compared to
He's
you
a good
guys.
foot, head and shoulder, head
Yeah.
above me. Yes,
Yeah, we'll put
indeed.
Foot
him ahead
taller
of
than
the.
you guys.
There we go.
right? I'm down there with you, Kurza. Like,
Cursa doesn't have any legs.
They're hidden in there somewheres.
She does do sort of a look at you, Seharn, like where she's staring at you a little bit more than the others, which is probably something you're used to when you're on land by this point a little bit. Um, and she says,
so do I.
I've seen others like you, but it's been a while. What brings you back?"
Oh wow, what brings me back? So, I've decided to learn from my land brethren. Want to learn the ways of the sea and spread my word of my God, Velkur.
That is
And we're looking for fun and adventure. Yeah, like why not? We should name drop the dwarf here, right? Like you
Yeah.
might know who he is. So I'll do that. I'll name drop this dwarf who I forgot to write down. And I already
Purpose,
forgot.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Urbis.
Ah,
Kermit. Yes.
Furbus. Furbus, yes. Furbus makes more sense now. It makes much more sense now why the three of you would be together, because I saw no other way, no other relationship that made sense. But somehow that you're working for
You mean
Furbus and
we're
seeking Furbus
triplets?
makes plenty of sense now.
What
What,
is her
12,
name?
12's and a human?
um, so she says, yes,
She's
Furbus has been in and around the harbor very much recently. I'm sure we can find him. He was here not very long ago. Um, and she turns around and hollers over to the bartender and says, "Have you seen Furbus today?" And he says, "Oh, he'll be around shortly, I'm sure. It is the witching hour for our fine dwarven friend." So
please please to send him our way the moment you see him. And maybe I'll tip her a couple of copper coins. How's that?
Yeah, give him a beer when he walks in, right?
Right.
Oh, there you go. Sure. Gladly. Gladly. So, yeah, you guys are able to then stay around for a little while. After about an hour sitting here, it seems like you hear a little bit of chuckling coming from behind the bar as the door opens and Furbus walks in, and he looks let me get him added to this. Where is he? Did I delete him? 1 second. He is a dwarf who dresses kind of oddly. He wears a bunch of green, uh, almost like naturally made clothing and armor. Um,
Much
and
like me.
he's got a long white beard. He's got a tattoo on the front part of his forehead. He's bald mostly on the top of his head, and he's got a tattoo sort of on the top front of his crown of his head. And he carries with him a like a staff that you had seen him pretty much always carry around with him, even when you were with him before. And so here's Furbus. I'll throw him on here. Need to make him bigger. And I'll flip him.
Amy, you just pretty much described the primalist character I played in my dwarf in the last MMORPG I played online. That description was almost perfect.
Oh wow.
Tattoos and all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like this. I like this character. But yeah, so Furbus comes in, and you see him, and they of course set a mug on the counter for him as he walks in the door, and he reaches for the mug, and the bartender kind of nods your guys' direction towards Furbus and says, "You got some folks looking for you." And Furbus looks, takes a long drink of his ale, and sets down the ale, lets out a belch, and turns over and looks at in your direction, and sort of scans you guys for a second, with his eyes a little squinted, and he walks over to your table, where at that point he recognizes you, Seharn, and he says, "Ah, hello, old friend. You back looking for some work?"
Well, actually, my friends are.
Well,
I'll introduce Kurza and Griff. And we're like old friends, like, he can keep a secret and all that type of, we're buddies. Is that what you're implying here? Sort of, or
he knows
like,
you.
do,
I think you have a good working relationship with him. Not that
do I trust him? That's kind of where I'm asking. Do I trust this guy?
you do. You do trust him.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
you trust
All
him
right,
more than most in this area. Yeah, he's just a
very
little
good.
eccentric. He collects some odd things, and it's not clear necessarily like what his how he makes his living. Certain things, like aspects like that about him, are a little mysterious maybe to you, but I think in general, in all your face-to-face interactions and everything he's promised, he's followed through on. So Seharn would feel pretty solid about Furbus, at least his character. So good day to you, gentlemen. I am Furbus. It is nice to make your acquaintance. What is it? Where is it that you wish to travel, or what kind of work are you looking for? I have both.
I guess we want to travel westward, I think. Somewhere near the Isle of Prosper, perhaps. Although,
Hmm.
but we're willing to work our way there or beyond.
Isle of Prosper. Isle of Prosper. Really? That's odd. What what
Well,
business would you be bringing to a place such as that?
well, the last time we were there, we splattered some Sahaquin lair and decided since we did that accidentally, we'd go back for a more purposeful approach this time.
I see. Well, it's not a common route. It's somewhat on the way for trips east or westward, but it may not be easy. I may have to make some special accommodations for you to arrive specifically to the island. Are you looking to travel as passengers or crew?
I have a slight seamanship skill, so I might be of some small use.
Oh,
And I'm a mage as well.
well, yes, I could definitely find some. I think I could find some better work for you, perhaps with those skills.
I'll buy passage.
And
I've never sailed.
Seharn.
Like I said,
Yeah, I
my seamanship is, well, it's okay, but
purpose
hopefully,
knows.
yeah, hopefully I'll be able to be much more useful as a mage. Although I don't have any wind spells.
Well,
Well, I'm definitely of use. It's because I can provide spiritual guidance, keep the sailors calm in, storm or peril. I can heal. I can, definitely help out on shipwrecking. A little bit of sailing, healing and sailing. That's all I do with land people. That's all I know.
very well. I would say it might be easier if I was passing you all as crew versus passengers. Is that a deal breaker? If I can't find you passage, would you be willing to go along with the crew? He's looking at Griff.
I could do that.
We'll show you the ropes, Griff. Novice sailors come in every day. Very common on the sea.
He's tough.
Right? You can
It
handle it.
takes a sturdy back, is all, and a strong stomach. after several days. But nonetheless, I do have a galleon that I could get you aboard as crew because they are quite desperate. They have
Need
been looking.
rowers.
They have been looking for bodies to fill the many roles that will be necessary to ship some cargo westward to Westgate.
Yeah,
That
so out of character, I caught those words. Quite desperate. They're desperate for crew, like something wrong with the ship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a long
Why
journey.
do they need to replace people? Yeah.
It can be a long journey, and it is a large boat. And there is the coming Vale, which is a small. It does not give us a lot of time in order to get the crew together, and so the short notice has caused us to raise prices to pay for the crew, which will benefit the three of you.
Oh, that's right. The incoming fog. I forgot about that.
Yes, the Vale is coming, and we have just a day to make arrangements. I can very likely get you decent positions with your experience and my connections. I'd be glad to do so.
Right.
However, there is, of course, the matter of how you would make it
Commission?
from your ship to your destination. That would need to be negotiated with the captain and crew. And if you would like me to intervene in that, I may try, but I may not necessarily be the
Much.
best to convince them.
Well, we don't. It's a desired location, I think. But if I think we need, we may want to, at some point, get a specific ship to take us there and wait for us. And I think that's beyond the ken of what we're looking for at the moment.
Hmm.
You know, if we wanted to hire the boat to take us there, and I'm not sure we're in a position to do that at the moment.
Well, you
How close can they get us?
that's where I think we might be able to have a compromise is to get you close and perhaps have you use another vessel or means to travel from that point. So I believe that would be relatively easy to negotiate if you
Okay.
all would like to go about your travel that way. You may be able to take a smaller boat or use some other means to travel from that point. But the galleon can only get so close because the Isle of Presper is surrounded by a lot of treacherous rocks and hazards. So we wouldn't risk the vessel, you know, um, getting damaged.
Of course
So
not.
very likely they would put you several miles
Yes.
away.
Yeah, we've only come in that way once or twice before, so um
And he's at this point he's got his boots off and he's got a pipe in and a map out and he's really kind of seems very interested in helping you all. He understands where you're trying to go and he seems like he's really thinking through all of the options that you have, and he says to you, it's the only other real way that you would be able to do this would be to take a smaller vessel and to potentially, you know, um, it would be more expensive. It would be far more expensive, but to hire your own ship, perhaps like a sloop or something or a schooner that's a little more agile and could get closer. Um, because I wonder about your plans to return.
well, that's a good question too, because if we find what we're looking for, there could be a fight, shall we say.
Hmm.
Because as I said, we splattered the Sahakwan the first time around accidentally. Um, and that was kind of an accidental encounter. But if we saw enough that we want to go back and perhaps get more treasure as we delve deeper into the lair that they have unbeknownst to them within their own lair. So,
I see. He kind of, as you're speaking, Kurza, he kind of at one point is like really seems very like making a lot of eye contact with you, and he kind of turns his head to the side as he's looking at you, and that there is some type of vengeance in your eyes when you speak of this. I need to know that I'm not delivering you towards something that would be evil in nature or cause harm to my reputation. Can you assure me that this mission of yours is not going to bring back any kind of retribution towards myself and my operation?
well, we don't intend to. We go looking for treasure from a forgotten dungeon, shall we say? The Sahakun were unaware of its existence.
So I want to mention that this may be related to Procampur and other civilizations of its like, and some evil that may be taking over these ancient tombs and civilizations, and seeking knowledge in how we may prevent that from happening. We also know that the Red Wizards of Thay may be involved.
You see Furbus's eyebrow raised to a level that is just, it looks like he is absolutely intrigued by what you're saying. And you have his attention. And after a moment, he says, if there is anything that we can do to learn from our past, we should, within reason, we should try to learn from it. And so I will help you. I believe your cause is true. I will speak to my contacts and I will make arrangements. Tomorrow you must be ready to leave bright and early, and I will drop off some instructions on where to meet. If you give me a few minutes, I will leave you a note and just follow these instructions in the morning. So he starts sort of scribbling down on a piece of paper. At that point,
Where can we stay? It would be safe. I ask this.
he says right around the corner there's a bed and beer called the High Walk, because you do have to walk up a couple flights of steps, and it's on supports sitting at the top, and it's just a home that's been converted into hostel. I would say the beer there is, and he kind of looks over at the bartender and like lowers his voice, a little better than here, but
No,
but
no.
it's a safe place, and I trust the owner. So it's right around the corner, and he sort of describes where it's at, and I think even Seharn would kind of know what he's describing, even though he hasn't been there. He'd feel comfortable navigating you there.
And the name of it again?
And
It was the High Road.
The High Road. All right.
All right.
a road.
Yep.
The High Road Inn, hotel, hostel, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Bed
Yeah.
and beer.
Yep. Bed and beer.
I nod to Furbus and I say thank you. And if there's anything we can do in return.
It's it's funny you should ask. I think as a dwarf, and I think you would have known that his interest was piqued when you mentioned the ruins beneath Procampur.
Skinfaller.
Yeah. So he says, as a dwarf, it is important for us to find those that have been lost. Unfortunately, we have been cut off from our history here in Procampur, and I, for one, would love to be a part of uncovering the past. So my only ask would be that should there be an opportunity to help you upon your return with the knowledge or goods that you return with, that I be your primary point of contact to aid you in gaining the most from those things.
I think that's only fair. After all, you are a dwarf, and you never know what we may find. And I'll kind of wink at him.
And before we go over to the high road, I nod to Fervus and I say, beware, fire knives have been seen area.
Yes, they are milling about throughout the harbor as well. We have seen them. They are a nuisance at best, but if they are in search of you, I would certainly lay low until the morning to be certain that they're not here looking at the harbor before the Vale approaches, knowing that you might be using this as a way to leave. I would encourage you to change your garb and show up tomorrow looking a little less like yourselves and more like
Indeed.
the crew. And with that, he does he stands up and sits down. He leaves the stuff on the table. He puts his boots on. He says, I must be off. There's definitely some work to be done this eve. And it's like it's really late at this point, so you guys are like really getting a sense that the harbor doesn't sleep, as he feels like totally comfortable that he's going to get a lot
Time to
done.
go to work.
So and again, it, like layers of people who work at different times and everything, so it's not really ever fully at rest, if you will. So he says, is there anything else before
Oh, thank you. How can we thank you for the help?
You do as you say, and
What
We shall.
and you perform for the captain that I tie you together with without tarnishing my reputation, and we will be in good good company.
I
all right,
offer my hand
yeah, I'll say
to shake his hand.
I'll
shake.
just say thank you for the beer, in the information, the good company, and I put a gold piece on the table.
Oh, high roller.
He,
At our level, he's got a whole gold to toss him.
Gotta be careful.
And you guys suspect that he's getting like a finder's fee, and that's one of the ways that he's making his living is by recruiting people. So you know that
he gets paid on the other side.
It's not for him necessarily. It's
yeah. No, I get it. No, I was just saying that you would understand that that's sort of one of the things that he's doing, and why when you asked him what you could do for him, earlier, that you're kind of already doing something for him if you do what you say you're gonna do. And he's certainly a businessman, and he understands too the importance of what you're speaking about, and he believes you. Most importantly, he believes what you're saying. So
sucker.
So he will, with that, he will head out, and he'll smack the bar as he walks by, and wave to the bartender, who's kind of nodding off back there at this point, and he'll head out onto the streets. So you guys are kind of left here mingling.
All right. Let's head to the high road.
Okay.
Yeah, let's give him a minute or two to leave, and then we'll take a couple minutes after that, and then we'll leave after him.
Okay.
And you, Griff, be careful flashing cash like that. That brings too much notice.
Yeah, I want them to know that we aren't just travelers seeking.
No, but we are just travelers seeking. That's the problem.
Yeah, probably not a problem with Furbus, right? But like to your point, like if somebody saw, and the other thing, this is the other thing that to be aware of is that your gold pieces most of the time are going to indicate where they came from. And so you
They're
do have to
not going
be,
to be local.
if they're not local, right? And this is one of the places where they'll notice that right away. They'll know exactly where you're from, or at least they'll know where that gold came from when they see it. So
Mine should
Good.
be, but
yeah.
'cause I'm from this area, but yeah, good
Yeah,
point.
yeah. Just something that you guys will be careful of. Maybe it goes in your procedures. That you'll be really careful of that type of thing when you're spending as well, and only try to use local gold versus stuff that you got from Raven's Bluff or other places potentially, because you've got all different shapes and imprints on your gold pieces. So but yeah, your
Not me.
gold is well received by the server, and she's happy to clean up after you all as you head back out into the road, um, and over or to the high road, I meant. So you're able to find it. It's really just around the corner. It's just as he described. It's sort of a rickety looking home on top of some supports that has a pretty extensive stairwell that you have to climb to get up to it. And it's creaky and everything else, but when you get up to the top, it feels safe and solid, and it's got a pretty cool view of the harbor from there. Looking out, you can kind of see, the wall from Procampur. You can see, some of the establishments and what's going on. But when you get up there, there is a woman, a halfling woman who is sitting, in the home as you kind of get to the top. The door's hanging open, and she's sitting inside. Looks like she might be cooking something. And when you guys enter, and she says to you, "Ah, welcome. Looking for a bed?"
Oh,
Room
yes.
and board. Yes, room and board, please.
Aha, very well. And
Urbis sent us.
Furbus. Oh, I should have known. I should have known. Are you working with Furbus?
We are.
Well, well, then I'll give you the discount. And
Oh,
with that, she hands you all like a small little burlap that has some breads and like fruits in it, dried fruits in it. It's almost like a little uh, uh,
Bag lunch.
yeah, like a gift bag for a sailor who probably hasn't eaten in a while, right? Or it might be wanting to take it with them on their sailing so that they're not stuck eating everything on the ship that may or may not be great.
The
Um,
sailor's fruit basket equivalent,
Mm.
right?
yeah, little kit for you that's been made up, and she
I like it.
directs you
The
over.
Marriott frequent travelers bag.
Yeah, good
Yeah,
flavor. It's good flavor.
it's
I like
it's
it.
like it's like they know what the sailors want here. You can tell, you can tell that this place makes their
Not
living that way.
fish. It's a bag of not fish food.
Yeah.
Got a
what
lemon and
is-
a couple of oranges to keep away the scurvy. You know,
so what was our charge then?
So for the evening, it'll be 2 gold.
ah,
2 gold.
So,
That's for
so
all three
just
of
so you
you.
guys
That's
know,
total.
remember I'm
I'll
from
pay
kind
the
of
2 gold.
wilderness, and I don't really understand the value of money.
I'll pay the 2 gold.
Okay. She has food, also like hot food there as well, some soups and things that you're able to help yourselves to. She basically tells you make yourself at home, and she shows you the room. You've got your beds all together in one space. There's another room in the shack also that looks like there's somebody in it already sleeping, and she mentions that there is one other guest here, but he'll be gone early, as many of you sailors do. Are you waking early? Should I wake you?
If
yes.
I think he knows where we're at, so he may drop a note for us. So if you could wake us,
Yes,
I'm
I.
not sure when he will arrive with the.
He did tell us
I
to prepare to leave early, right?
Yeah, he
yeah,
did say we're
yeah.
leaving early, so
So we should get the early rise. If there's a
Early
wake up
rise.
call, we'll take it. Yeah.
Very
I
well.
asked if she has any spare clothing around for more suitable for seafaring.
Let me look and
A
see.
lost and found.
And so
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah.
she'll kind of dig around, take a look. She does seem to have like some overflow gear, things that have been left here, and yeah, I think she can produce a couple of sort of nondescript clothing.
Like even a big cloak, like a canvas,
Yeah,
cloak or whatever, something to cover up.
yeah, I think more of what she has is what you would expect sailors to be wearing, which is dirty shirts and pants. So she's probably got some tattered, stuff, not the finest looking, but definitely more appropriate than your normal garb, at least to play the part of a crew member or someone who knows their way around a ship. So she lays it out on the table for you guys to just kind of pick whatever you want from it, and you can find some suitable things.
I'll say we
Okay.
thank you, and I look back at Kurza and I kind of hold up like a silver piece and go, "Is this like enough?
He's
How
like,
much do I give her?" In other words,
Yeah. Give her the silver.
okay, I give her a silver. I say thank you very much.
oh, thank you. And she'll pocket the silver happily. And yeah, she just kind of just keeps making, continuing to kind of set things up, and you guys can make your way to your beds when you're ready.
Yeah. I'll pick myself an outfit and head towards the bed.
Anybody else doing
Right.
anything
So,
before bed?
so
Yeah.
I
No.
want to check. Yeah, I want to check the room for walls, ceiling, see if there's any secret doors, openings, traps, anything under the beds.
Okay. Let's see. I guess.
Is there only one door?
Yeah, there's just the one door to the room.
No windows?
There are windows. There are windows. There are 2 windows in the room and a door total. 3 beds, a table, a dresser, and that's it. It's pretty plain as far as that's concerned. But you do a pretty thorough check, just like looking for some kind of obvious stuff, and you feel like you're not. Well, actually, am I gonna have to roll this for you? Let me double
I
check.
don't have any. The only rogue skills I have are hide in shadows and move silently. So
Yeah, I'm
can't
gonna.
really use that.
I'm just gonna roll based on your wisdom here. Yeah, so you don't really see anything that seems out of the ordinary to you. Obviously,
Right.
like it has 2 windows, so there's.
Can we secure the windows? Make sure.
Yes. Yeah, you can make sure they're tight.
Griff is a human.
Yes.
Okay.
Human-ish.
Sahar, how much sleep does
Mostly human.
Sahar need?
Average? Yeah.
Well, as a sea elf, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and I
probably.
don't know how much sleep you guys need to get your spells back and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think
I only need
I
2
think
hours.
I was gonna say, Kurza, you spent some spells earlier in the fight, right?
Yeah, but I only need a few hours to.
And then stay Harn if you want to heal up before we go
Yes.
to bed and refresh.
Yes. Yes. So game mechanic wise, I do want to use a healing spell right now. Neither of you are injured at all?
No,
No.
I didn't take any damage.
No? All right. So it's 1d8, I believe. Is it?
So
Virtue light.
I'll
Yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
to clean my short sword and hand axe or my tomahawk were the only things I hit anything with. So I'll take care of those. Whetstone out any nicks and clean up the blood.
All right. Well, I have 2 heals per day, so based on that roll mechanic wise, I'm just going to use the second one up.
Got it.
Get it.
I'd like.
Come on.
11.
Yeah.
Yes.
There you go.
Totally
There you
cured.
are.
There we go. Totally cured. Excellent.
Perfect. So yeah, you're back to
So-
full.
Yes.
So
So I'm
so
going to
good.
offer prayers. I'm going to pray offer prayers if anyone wants to join me, as gameplay. Just call that done. Blessings for
So,
the healer.
It might
so I
be
guess,
like good
go ahead.
fortune for you to do that before your journey too, So
Yeah.
Seems fair.
What I was gonna say, I was gonna ask, I'll kind of do, and I'm not a very religious character, but you'll hear Griff often say Sylvanus provides, things like that. So I'll do a quick little, I guess, prayer to Sylvanus and just say, keep us safe and keep our party safe, and then make sure that um uh, do we need to set watches?
Well, I would suggest since we're going to have a short sleep, you should just sleep, and then since I only need a couple hours, I can kick off and stay awake the rest of the time.
Are we
The reason
sharing
I'm
a room?
asking is because we already
Yeah,
we already had the fire knives track us down once. So
Right.
right.
Are we sharing a room with a stranger already asleep? Like maybe we should check him
no,
out.
no, there's a stranger in another
He's in
room.
a separate room.
He's in a
He's fine.
separate room. Hmm.
All right. I don't see the need we're basically in a hotel. We stick a dresser in front of the door. We should be fine.
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
I didn't find any other entrances to the room, and I think I've secured the windows.
Yeah, so you guys have done like a walkthrough, tried to make sure everything is secure. You'll take the precaution to, check the windows, check the room, get the dresser even blocking the door, um, which might be funny because, you're moving like the furniture and that would probably be heard, just be like, it would just be
Oh,
laughable a little bit,
Probably wouldn't be unusual, not in a
no,
place like
I don't think
this.
it would be actually. I think that there probably are marks on the floor from where it's drug
Yeah,
across so much to do that. So
I
nothing.
know it.
Yeah,
get a
either
bed
that or they
against
put
the
it
door.
right next to the
But
door
Yeah,
to
you
make it
just
easier.
nothing out of the ordinary here. Nothing out of the ordinary.
yeah.
All right.
right.
So we'll let's take a break. Let's take the mid-session break. We got a little longer, but we'll take
Cool.
like 7 minutes or whatever. So something like that, and we'll be right back, and then we'll pick up in the morning time.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can get a look at that spell book before we're off to the boat?
Well, I mean, because Cursa doesn't need a whole lot of sleep. Not that there's a lot of time to sleep before the morning.
Well, I was thinking just page through it to see what's in there, not actual study of it or anything like that. Just kind of figure out what the spells are.
Yeah. I think. How does that work? Do you need to cast read magic or something like that to? Let me double check.
I never made people do that because I figured that was kind of pointless.
Well, I'm just curious what it really says. I mean, I know that there is a that you have a skill under intelligence that also helps with it.
'Cause
But
I'm not really even trying to learn them. I'm just trying to figure out what is it.
yeah,
Is there
I think
anything here worth
I think what you would do is, and I'll roll, or actually I'll have you roll, roll a 3d4.
3d4? Okay,
Oh, you rolled
there
really
you
good.
go.
So there's 10 spells in the book,
Oh
and
wow.
if you want to figure out what each spell is, you will have to make that check to see if you can figure out what each one is. Like,
Okay, and then if I find out what it is, do I have to roll again to figure it to learn the spell?
whenever you're able to learn a new spell, you'll have to do that check to learn the spell.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because at this point it's just a matter of question of which one do I want to learn and which ones
Yeah,
do
exactly.
I want
I
to.
think this will give you knowledge of, several of them, and you'll know if it's worth your time to burn a slot on it when you have one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's basically all I was
Yeah.
trying to do.
So
And it,
just
it seems kind of foolish to force a read magic when I was DMing. It didn't quite make sense, but
well, no, I'm fine with
let's
the
see
read
here.
magic, but I think the learn spell check kind of will be like whether or not you even know what it does or what it is, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where the hell do I find that.
Intelligence
Um,
under your
yeah, it should be in there.
attributes.
Oh, here we go.
I have a question. Wasn't there a henchman in the party?
It's been kind of I'm operating under the assumption that the henchman was sort of a Mithra's hireling.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
he sort of exists when she exists.
Got it.
I was thinking of hitting Furbus up, but I didn't mention it at the time. Like, is he only an agent, or does he have an adventuring soul? Do I know this, or could he get hirelings for us if we want them?
Yeah, I mean
The
that's
only
something you can ask him in the morning, when you may or may not see him.
You want hirelings, Tim? Do you think we need
No,
them?
I don't. I was thinking though, if there was one, we'd get him a power shield so he could protect Urza.
Well, I have a shield spell, so
Remember, this is 2E, like torch bearers, lantern bearers, sack
Yeah.
bearers. We
Yep.
can
well,
utilize
Griff's the
all
only
that.
one who can't see in the dark at this point, so
Oh, I did have a question, Jamie. I never wrote it
So,
down. At the beginning, you said I had dark vision because of my nature and of my background,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what the distance is. Is that like 60 feet or
60.
60? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
so, I guess if we have like an hour or whatever while we're talking before we go to sleep, we can kind of do a little bit more introductions with each other, maybe. Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. We're back, guys. Yeah,
Okay,
we can pick it up. I mean, this is a recording, so I end up editing it to where it seems like
it's
there
all
was
good.
no break at all. But yeah, I think we're back in business. Like what I'm doing right
Okay.
now is for Kurza. I'm checking. He's checking the spell book that he found to see if he can understand what's in it. And so we're just gonna roll that. And if you guys want to role play or ask anything else, I'm glad to try to multitask through this.
So, um, Wayne and Chris, this is just me talking. Heads up on attributes when we were rolling. My first two rolls were 19s, so it was pretty
a third one
crazy.
there too, Jamie.
What do you roll
So
at 19?
Mm-hmm.
4 die 4 plus 4. So I got a 19,
He
a 19, and then and then in 17. So I have really good attributes. I got an 18, 64 strength, and
yeah.
I 18 dex,
Well,
17 con.
it was it
So
was it was he yeah, so you can choose the rolling method and he did the
yeah,
D4 one, the 44 plus 1 or whatever it is.
yeah.
And
Sure.
is he also you also had some kind of bonus to something too that gave you, I think the higher number. I can't remember what it was, but I mean, he needed those skills anyway cuz to be the ranger.
Yeah.
Well,
Just with that, I guess in the back of your heads on rolls and things like that, he's obviously very strong and very nimble.
3, 4,
So
5. She got 5 more.
when we need those kinds of rolls.
uh,
Um, since we didn't really get much of a background from each other, so I'm not sure what your guys' strengths and weaknesses are. Those are mine. Being a ranger.
Basically, I got a 15 dex and a 17 intelligence, and the rest are 13 and below.
Okay.
I'm on par with
So you're the smart guy.
Chris. Yeah. So I'm a 17 wisdom priest.
Okay,
Right.
so you're the wisdom guy.
Right. So I have a
Okay.
16 dex, which helps with my AC, so I can be a little bit of a fighter, but it's mostly, crowd control buff kind of character. My
Okay.
lowest strength is 9. That's my lowest. I do fair. I have, 13s and 14s. So that's my other stats. I'm really good.
All right.
Yeah,
And
you
then I guess
certainly have heroic attributes. Most of you do. Most of you had
yeah,
pretty good roles, and we wanted them to be heroic characters, so it's good. It's a
yeah.
good thing.
Right. I consider
That's
my
what adventurers
character
are, right?
right. Third level. I consider him a young seeker. So I'm here with you
Same.
landers because I'm trying to spread the word. And maybe I'll learn herbalism, learn
Okay.
healing. I'll start a temple eventually, maybe for sailors on an island eventually.
So,
The campaign
so,
lasts long enough.
yeah. So back in character, yeah, if you mention the herbalism, I know herbalism. I can help you understand the plants, and I also have survival in just about any terrain, so I can help, with um,
Well,
with any of those kinds of things on land.
ooh,
If you
we
can
can
help me
teach.
with the water, yeah,
Yeah, we can teach each other because I know algae and grinding seashells. That's how we do it. But like, how do you do it with plants and leaves? I don't get
yeah.
that. That's what I want to know.
And you'll also notice that Griff kind of he has like he kind of smells minty. It's because he has uses like a insect repellent kind of stuff that he always has on his person. So he's got herbs
So he's
and
got good
things.
hygiene. Griff has good
Well,
hygiene. Good.
it's just that he lived in the forest in the wilderness, and his hair's messed up. He's not the most, I guess, he's not a
So you're
metrosexual type. He's pretty sloppy.
a little better kept than your average quasi medieval type
Yeah,
because
yeah.
this is a rather smelly time in
Rough
history.
cut hair,
Ooh,
How,
but
how
yeah,
accurate the world is.
yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a
that's
third
cool.
level spell.
Yeah,
What's that?
yeah.
Flame arrow?
He,
That's man. This is some good
Whole
stuff.
person. Yeah, whole
you're gonna
Yeah,
person's
have
good.
you're gonna have some good choices to fill your spell book when you advance.
Alarm, mending, spider climb,
yeah.
knock,
When do you get that?
darkness, locate object.
Hey, tongues, don't knock. Tongues have tell you
I
from
was,
past playing. Tongues
that's
will
what I was
come
saying.
in
That was a
useful
great one.
many times.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that can be
tongues
a
Whole
saver.
really
person,
come in
tongues,
handy,
flame arrow. Yeah,
right?
I won't be too much use in a fight, but there's a lot of really interesting stuff here
Well, whole
that
person
could
and
be.
flame arrow is awesome in battle. So,
Especially
All
in that
right.
order.
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
But I can't cast those quite
yeah,
yet.
right, right. They get no decks when they're held, right? So,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, except I can't cast those quite yet. But
Uh,
darkness is a good one, and so is knock and locate object. So,
they all seem pretty useful. I think that you would actually have a hard time picking only one in some cases when you go to add this to your spell book. So,
right.
I
yeah.
could see writing a bunch of scrolls for my own use.
Okay.
Mm,
Actually,
mm,
Well, I should disclose for gaming play purposes, just so you can call this out. But I do have a healing potion. Seharn does. So it's like
mm.
worth three, cure lights, 1d8 per draught, three of those. And I have a clairaudience potion, which so if we need to hear or spy on something, even if it's like on the other side of a wall or in a building, whatever, so we can use that if that ever comes in handy. So
The other
and there
thing
are
you guys will notice about Griff is that he does have slightly pitted ears, and his hair and beard color are kind of streaky, and his eyes seem to change color. They don't seem like they're like brownish, they're greenish, they're bluish.
what race are
So
you?
human, as far as I
Really?
know.
As far as you know. Yeah,
I think
that's
he's kind of a mongrelized in there,
Yeah,
maybe with
Mm.
something very interesting.
but I know
right.
that I can see in the dark. It's not
Perha-
as good as my elven brothers.
Perhaps in the future when I'm a
You
little
can,
more
huh?
powerful and I'm a little more in good with my God, he can answer these things. We can find out, right?
Yeah,
That's true.
Right.
I don't know my
You know,
heritage. I know I
right?
was found in it. That I told Kurza and Mithra this, but Harn didn't hear it. But I was found in a griffin's nest in a saddlebag. That's
Might
why
be
where my name came from.
you might be like
Yeah.
Fey related or something.
Yeah, could be.
Possibly.
Human's
Or
eyes don't change color
or
like that, bro.
Nope.
Yeah.
because of
The,
my
the,
extreme strength.
Yeah. Well, you
I
guys.
like him better because he's unique like me in this world,
Yeah.
right? I'm a bunch of
Yeah.
We're all
human
Yeah.
dwarves,
misfits and
right?
superheroes,
I
right?
mean,
We're
Right.
X-Men.
as far as, yeah, exactly. You
We're
guys have
X.
some really unique things about you, and you would feel you definitely would be able to empathize with one another because of that too.
Yeah.
But definitely Griff is more passable. You know, he looks as a human looks, but the sea elf is still like at certain
Yeah.
times and in certain districts, everybody is just watching the sea elf unless he's taking precaution. So it's a really unique group that you have now, and you guys hear the kitchen stirring pretty early. It's still dark out. You can see some light rising, and so
I think Ronnie would have a lot of fun using Saharan as a um, distraction.
And
that's
I tell you
true.
what,
Just
Well, I
walk
kind of
behind and just pickpocket everyone that's turning their head to look at him as he passes by.
so,
That's
right.
right.
My
our
skin
man,
is my
Go ahead.
skin
our
is
party
kind of
our party basketball team would suck, man. We got what, a halfling, two
Oh yeah, yeah.
under 5 foot elves.
No, this team's built different. This team's built way different. Um,
All right.
yeah. So you guys
Well,
hear
well,
the kitchen stirring, and of course you hear some voices out, on the other side of your door where it sounds like some folks are stirring. So, um,
what was the name of the proprietor of this place, of the high road?
I don't think we
actually,
got her name.
yeah, actually her name is Road, and
Road.
so it's named High Road as in
So
after her, not an actual road.
Does she spell that differently, or does that
It's
matter?
just Rode is the way she spells it. But it's the high
a
road, so it
halfling.
just worked out well for her. Yep,
When you said that, I was thinking RHODE,
Rhode. Yeah. No,
the high road.
Yep. Yeah, no, it's a little different, but she.
Speaking of verbs,
Yeah. So you guys are gonna get up and you can grab a bite in the morning. Um,
Mhm.
After prayers, we
does everybody
restock
have
the cell.
rations?
Yes.
All right,
No.
just
We
in
can buy.
case you're not cool.
yeah, the options on board will be, pretty rough probably from what you guys remember, but it'll get you there. But yeah,
Oh,
so
road
she.
Harn will be fine.
road could sell us like some cheese, hard cheese, and breads, right?
Yeah, road. I was just gonna say that, some of the things that were in the burlap bits that she gave you, she can sell you more quantity of. So you can buy nuts and these
I
dried
get to keep the
fruits.
bag.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a small little satchel.
All right.
Yep. So
And
if
we
you
make
guys want to, basically we'll call it an equivalent of days of rations that you would be
yeah.
buying from her. So whatever our going rate is, I think it's very affordable. Pull it up on the.
I think I've got 3 weeks or so.
I have 14 days right now.
Okay.
Let's see.
So I mean that's.
Let's
How
see. What
long
do
of
I
a
have?
trip is it? Do we know? Urza?
It's at least several days. I've got 3.6 weeks, so
6. Okay.
1 day shy of 4 weeks
Oh, okay.
of
Yeah, of all sorts.
rations.
Apparently, it's kind of dried iron rations or something.
Yeah, I'm looking
Yeah,
for the price. But it's super cheap.
I think some oil would be a good choice too.
Yeah, like in real medieval terms, like
Yeah.
pounds. Real food is not expensive because everybody needs it.
Yeah, so
Um,
what she's gonna charge you guys is like for a week's worth of rations, she's gonna charge you a gold.
Fair.
all right.
So that's what the going rate will be with her, and you can just do that.
Those are how long would they keep?
All the things that she'll give you would last for weeks.
Get a week's worth. You say silver?
A gold, yeah, gold per week, yeah.
That's what I meant.
Well, I currently don't carry much. Just my holy symbol, my weapons, my robes. It's like as my character looks on screen, that's pretty much all he has. So I could buy like a wrap. We could make like a shoulder wrap, and I could carry like how much do you think, Jamie? 3 to 4 weeks of food for us?
Oh, easily. If
Yeah,
you want to be the mule that carries it all, you have a lot of capacity to carry.
sure.
You
I'll be
could,
the meal. Why not? Yeah,
sure. Um,
sounds fair. So how much
I
rations do you
have
want to
a
buy?
I have a large stack if you want. I can spare.
Absolutely. Large sack tied over my shoulder.
All right, you
We'll
got it.
tie it
I'll
over with
reduce.
rope. We'll make a rope sling. It'll just be like a sling pack. That we can do that?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
um,
And then it'll double as a treasure bag as we empty the food. And we'll have room for treasure. We'll fill it back up.
I got 2 small sacks now.
Kriza, is there anything that you're carrying that would be notable? Like for instance, yesterday would have been the first time that Seharn and Griff spent an evening with you and watched you read a book of gibberish that made no sense to them. So I'm just curious, is there anything else that Kurza has on his person that would be noticeable to them that would, also be information they would have about your inventory?
I have a staff, which is magical. No, I have a staff that's not magical. I guess I saw a wand, a ring.
Are you wearing the ring?
Yes. That's a ring of protection +1. And if I recall correctly, there were some written notes that we picked up that I
Yeah.
haven't had a chance to go through yet.
Yeah, there's some loose papers in the stuff that you
And
had.
the bracers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get a chance to identify those. If I were to just put them on, would I find out what they were?
Yeah, I mean,
Blind.
Maybe.
if
Yeah.
Ron.
Maybe
if it
eventually.
triggers the
Yeah.
the enchantment, then
Triggers the
you would.
curse.
Yeah. The curse. Yes.
Yeah,
The optimism.
absolutely.
Yeah, what
Good
the
optimism.
hell?
I mean, that's the way to go. That's the way to go.
I mean,
You can always identify it
you've
when you get a
seen, they
chance.
will have seen the tattoo when I was changing.
Right.
That's a great point. Yeah.
I'll
So
I'll
as you're
point it.
putting
I'll
that
point it.
on,
Yeah. As he's doing that, I'll point at Curza and I'll say, "What is that?"
That's a damn good question.
And I'll put my hand on my weapon.
Yeah, what this is a damn good question.
Their curse of their bracers of brawling. They make you want to fist everybody you meet with a 10%
Tattoo.
chance of punching yourself
Put
in
the
the
bracers
face
on.
every
What the
round.
hell?
Right? Do it. Do it.
Yeah, I'll put the
Find
bracers
out.
on. The other guy was wearing them anyway, so I'll wear them too.
Probably
So
nothing.
I'm still asking about the tattoo.
Oh, can you put up the picture of the tattoo?
sure.
Basically, when we first met most of the people in
It's
our
in the
group,
comments.
some of us have come and gone, but myself, Adam, Ronnie, and who else is left, Jamie? Anybody else?
It that
I
Bart,
think that's it.
Bart, Kurza, Ronnie are probably the only, right? Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I think they're the only ones left. Those are the three of us left that when we first met, these were tattooed upon us.
So say Harn's
Magically one night, and we're not certain of the magic behind it, but you can see the five. We have the fire knives symbol there. We have what's the one for the circle?
it's the dark gaze.
The dark gaze. We've met both of those and defeated some of them.
It's like a black eye. Yeah.
Yeah. But the hand, the lightning, and the three rings, I don't think we figured out who belongs to those as of yet.
Yeah.
Probably should have done that in the library back there, but
you're not kidding. That probably would have been a great spot. You probably could have found a lot there.
Say we ask Furbus. This sounds like a guy that might know.
no, we're not gonna. This
And it
what
might
we've
reflect
found
off
out
of it.
so far is at some point they may use it to take control of us.
Oh my
And
God. That sounds like a grim prospect.
quite. So the idea is to try and figure out a way to remove it or
Is it
put
a
a stop
curse?
to it. No, it's not a curse, I don't think, so much as it is a
What is the
I guess
tattoo?
I'd say it's probably a modified geese.
I think you might even explain it as being almost like a rune that when a certain condition is met, it will trigger it. And that's sort of the sense that you get about, being controlled by it somehow. If
Okay.
some condition occurs, the right situation or whatever that might be, that it will cause you you to maybe act against your will, let's say.
Yeah, but the question is, what is this purpose?
Triggering event. Yeah, that's the part that you don't know. What is the triggering event? What is it that would activate this thing? So
Can I
in a
use
sense, it is a curse, in a sense.
Can I use an identify spell on it?
No, it's not. It's more of something that, I mean, you can even just use detect magic to get a sense of its nature, but it's not going to tell you exactly what the behavior
Well, yeah, I would
is.
actually like to use a detect magic on it to see what its nature is.
Well, yeah, and you guys did this before. You would already know that it showed itself as being magical.
Right.
Yeah.
None of
I
those
just
symbols
don't
are
know that
religious.
What's that?
None of those symbols are tied to a deity.
No, they're tied to, presumably, based on the two we know,
Oh,
the top and the bottom one, they're tied to earthly
Cults.
or
Fire
maybe.
knives are the guys
organizations
Mhm.
Yeah.
as opposed to anything else. And yeah,
so
I should have researched it previously, but probably to my own detriment, I did not.
Well, everybody's
Foolish me.
carried this, a burden with them, and it is funny how nobody, because it got to a point where everybody's got it covered and no one wants to talk about it. It's the taboo tattoo, like that and no one's really gone to, you've only asked questions because you don't know who to trust. So trust has been a big problem about researching it. I agree.
somewhat sitting here wondering if such research might, lead us deeper into the story. Like,
I'm sure it would,
yeah,
but I think we had to get out of town before we were stuck in town,
yeah.
especially since they were already trying to attack us.
Maybe
Yep.
there's a sea hag or a very knowledgeable captain that goes a lot of
I'll look
places
at
like
Saharn
no
and to have you ever seen anything like do you know
no,
of anything like this?
no.
And the only symbol I think that
I,
Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, but the only symbol that I'm familiar with are the fire knives. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah, you know the fire knives symbol.
Yeah, the dark gaze, we've met a few of them too, but mainly fire knives. The um
I'm gonna move us over to the harbor.
we were in a
Oh,
Raven, what was the name of that town?
Ravens Bluff.
Raven's Bluff.
Ravens Bluff, yeah. Um we were going to do a favor for one of the higher up politicos there, and we did, but the fire knives intervened at the initial meeting, and things went very south from there. So I don't, there are powerful forces at play, and he was going to help us determine more about the tattoo and how to remove it and or um,
It,
destroy it,
it was
neutralize it.
this guy here, um, Captain Wennick, who double
Yeah,
crossed them and was somehow allied or aided the fire knives in the ambush. So
yeah, and he was a highly trusted figure to this upper level
mhm.
political.
he he double crossed uh
So yeah,
it was
so it had to have been something.
Caddison.
Yeah,
That was yeah.
Gaddison. Yeah, but in double crossing Caddison, he had to have burned a lot of bridges
Yes.
in doing so. So I have to assume that either A, what we did, or what we were supposed to look for is was worth destroying us and him because we got away, but
Yeah, to your point, yeah, he burned every bridge he had, and seems like he
and
he
we
got a
brought that
payday.
on, and I brought the house down.
Yeah, the stone to mud,
Rock to mud.
or rock to mud. Yeah, it was epic.
Yeah, you put him in the right place
Well,
in a cathedral underneath
well
the
that
Pillars.
supports, and it well kind of
it was
gives away.
it was between that and then Caddison put up an ice wall,
Yeah,
um, which
blocking them.
pretty much yeah circumvented their ambush and allowed you to escape relatively unscathed. I think nobody really caught much damage on the way out. It was just
I believe you're correct.
the damage was
Well,
done.
some were injured still because there were a lot of archers there. So I'm sure we caught a lot of
Hmm.
um,
You did,
arrows,
you did, you
but
caught, but nobody was on death's door because of the quick
right.
thinking of you guys, you and Kevin. So yeah, that was great. That was and yeah, so there's a lot of unanswered questions there about Wennick and how involved he was with the fire knives and what he knows about the fire knives, what his whereabouts are now. Um, so,
And
but
even coming south from Ravens Bluff, there are fire knives all over those mountains, and they seem to be trying to put together something because they seem to have a uh, observation posts everywhere and are seeming to block all the trade leading in and out of Ravens Bluff and across the mountains to where the city we're at now. So
hmm,
there's something big going on, and they found us again, and we're ready to splatter us. So
right.
for all I know, the tattoos themselves are able to be tracked. So they might not know exactly where we're at, but it's like, oh, they're in the city. They're in this particular city, you know? So that would be interesting if I could find a way to hide it. That's an interesting
Well,
thought.
you can definitely put the bracers over it for now, and if you want to make sure that you just remind me that you're wearing the bracers now and then as we go, so that I can make sure
Okay.
I'm remembering that. But
Activate the curse.
Yes, I was gonna say, yes, you gotta find out what that curse is.
maybe it doubles down on the curse on his forearm, right?
I don't know.
Or yeah, modifies it. We'll see. But um, we'll say that you guys actually hear Furbus's voice coming from the stairwell as he's climbing up, and he's like, "Damn these steps!" As he's making his way up, and he finally gets to the top, and he sees you all kind of stuffing your packs, and he leads you down to the dock. It's still pre-dawn, and it's bustling. There's quite a bit of activity down on the dock from various ships that seem to be loading for the same reason you are, to get out now.
Yeah,
And
everybody wants out.
yep, and he takes you to the when he takes you to the dock, he basically takes a moment with you guys to say, "Look, I've made the arrangement. It's nothing special. It's nothing glorious, but it is headed in the direction that you seek. There is a raft or smaller boat that you can deploy from this ship, and you will need to make payment for that with the captain, or some other arrangement on how you will compensate them for the boat itself. But I would recommend something around 100 gold would probably get it done.
For a
Just
dinghy,
that's from what
a
I
hundred
know.
from a
Well,
hundred
it's
gold.
probably a little bit bigger than a standard rowboat or something.
Yeah, dinghies. They're seaworthy. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Horn.
life raft,
Mhm.
life boat size thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I asked Saharn, how good at sailing are you, or are you more of a water elf,
Well,
above water, below water?
no, I'm fair with handling ship. That's my life with landers has all been
Yeah.
mostly tending
Or
with sailors and boarding ship.
It's
Yes.
kind of the way you transitioned, right? To
Yeah.
get to get
Yeah.
yeah, just taking on that work and being so familiar with the sea itself. Yeah.
and I asked Saharn, is this little thing seaworthy enough for our purposes?
Well, I would assume so, but if I can make an assertion of the seaworthiness of this dinghy, so what you're asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Do I need to roll for that, Jamie, or can you just
No.
describe it?
No, I'll just say that, it
Okay.
seems like
I don't want to get it all the way there and then realize that the thing that we're gonna take the rest of the way to the island ain't gonna work, right?
Yeah, no, this is a good point, and these are good questions, and I think even the quality of the ship itself, and those are things I
Yeah.
should describe next to you guys. So, yeah, so you're turning your attention to the boat. You're kind of thinking about what are you about to get into, and the galleon is very nice. The galleon itself seems like, from your eyes, Saharn, as if it's a newer boat. It's not that old. It probably hasn't been used for more than a couple of years. It's not like some of the other vessels that have been overused and are in somewhat of disrepair. It seems solid from that standpoint. Now you see these smaller boats. It's got three smaller boats on the back end of it, and again, on just an initial look, it seems as if they're solid quality and that they would be seaworthy. So you don't suspect any quality issue or anything like that with it.
Cool.
The boat, as you're looking at, across the sails again, look pretty crisp, fairly new, well taken care of. There is a flag flying on the top of the vessel, and I don't think you guys would recognize it, but let's just have you do a wisdom check anyway, just in case. Maybe one of you will. You
You need
succeeded. You
a
succeeded.
wisdom
You
check?
each succeeded by 10. So, yeah, if
Hey,
you want to do one too.
Yeah, I can fail at that.
right,
So
group
probably
six,
be
group
good at
No,
math.
success,
you
group
Holy
can't.
crap.
No, you can do
success, group,
better. Um,
yes.
What are we wisdom checking, by the way?
You're checking
Uh,
the flag that's
Sail.
flying on the
Flag.
top of this, and it looks as if it is of the port of Westgate.
Hmm.
Oh,
What's the name of the
So,
vessel?
so he's
so
not a pirate.
this is called the Reverie.
Out while he's in the water.
Well, it may not. It may still be a pirate, for all we know. You're not
I
going to
don't
Well,
know.
declare you're a pirate in port.
I mean, it means that this ship is owned and operated out of Westgate, and
Yeah.
it's registered to Westgate. It may mean potentially that it has some ties to the government there, but you can't be certain really of that. It's just that's more of an assumption because, and you're the only one, Cursed, that's been to Westgate. You know that it's a very corrupt town, so there is that. As good as the ship looks, you know where it comes from. But
We're doing the realms as far as Sehar knows. Pirates mostly operate in the islands out there, right?
yeah, and there's like a group of smaller islands, really small, little micro islands too, where there's a lot of pirate activity. hmm so yeah, so you guys are introduced from Furbus. He introduces you to one of like a crew leader on the boat, and just see if I can get a token of this guy for now. Oh wait, that's weird.
Any familiar faces that I see?
One second. You can, as you get aboard the boat, and you do see that there's a lot of people that are active on the boat getting things secured. You get introduced to this guy, and his name is Efau. Efau, EFOW, and he's just, basically, quickly kind of starts to give you guys the information you need to get loaded up, and he's like, your bunks are gonna be in the front stern, side, and get your things stored and report to top deck. So, he just expects that you know your way around the boat, doesn't even walk you down there, and you guys can kind of wander around on the boat when you first get on it, to kind of get oriented and that sort of thing. Is there any questions you guys have, or anything else before you also kind of send off with Furbus, because he's at this point, probably gonna be heading back to do his thing around port here, around harbor.
Yeah.
I
A
Go ahead.
technical question. We bought rations. We agreed that I could carry 3 to 4 weeks, but we never actually just set a number for game purposes. Like, how many days am I carrying?
I have 21
Yeah,
days on me.
right.
For rations, I've got 27.
DM agree we can carry 28 more.
Yeah, I'm fine with if you're carrying that.
All right.
I don't have any problem with that.
So I got a backpack full of stuff. I guess what I'm looking for when we get down to where we're stowing our gear is there a way to secure it?
I'm gonna bring up some. Let's see if I can find the. I wonder how actually. Roll20 did something very cool. Um, they've made it so that I can have folders, which is really cool. But what I don't know is how do I. Oh, okay, that's how I do it. So you guys see, this was one of the old scenes that we actually had on the boat, but it's similar to this.
I see two familiar faces that have gone now.
Yeah, I'm gonna delete
Yeah,
these guys off here, but load you guys in real quick. But um, this is basically what the setup is like for most of the crew.
I remember this from watching. I watched the whole playlist.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah,
Yep.
that's been a while. I mean, this has been frozen in time here since we visited this, and now we're back. It's kind of it's but yeah, this was a similar ship to the one that you guys came across on the for blanking on the name right now, but it was an older
Yeah, I
vessel.
don't remember.
It was an older vessel than this. Um, anyway, so this is basically what you'll have, to kind of store your things, which is an open shared space, not like an enclosed cabin or anything like that. You're going to be kind of setting up amongst others. And then when you come into this area and you see all of this, there are, a varied group of sailors who are doing the same thing you're doing and loading up, and they've claimed their spots. And, because you guys are kind of being brought in at the last minute, it doesn't look like you're going to be able to find bunks right next to each other. So you're kind of like just taking the last available seat on a bus, if you will, and you're coming in and now picking your open spots. And you do get some, decent
So it,
decent, proximity to one another, but you're not like side by side by side.
Okay.
And you can stow your things here, as you see fit. You definitely, know that shady things happen aboard ships, but there's also nowhere to hide most of the time too. So yeah, you guys
how
can
long are we?
stow your stuff.
Yeah, how long are we planning to be at sea? How long is this voyage?
So the
Like,
overall voyage that they're going to take is like 7 to 8 days, I believe, and so it's about halfway through that where you guys would be dropped off. So 3.5 days.
right. So we're just going to take turns. One person's always going to be sitting with the food. What else do we have to steal? I don't have anything valuable
But we're
myself.
working. Right?
Not that would, yeah,
Crew.
you're gonna be
Right? We're
working.
crew. Yeah, that's true. Well, my job's, yeah, kind of easy. Spiritual guide and healing, tending to the sailors.
City are we coming from again?
Camper.
Procamper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Well, it's a good point. We should probably pull up the map now, since this is, you're asking, how far and everything too. So yeah, you're in Procamper now. You've got our party token. You've got aboard the ship. And yeah, so now Isle of Presper, you'll be taking basically that similar route. I'll kind of map out the way that they're going to do that, but it's 3.5 days to get in range of where you would be dropped off.
Okay.
Right past the Pirate Isles.
Oh,
Vesper. Yes, right past the Pirate Isles. We got to go right through the trade routes.
True story.
I know my realms a little bit, Jamie. I like playing at them. They're my favorite world.
It is the best. I think it's great. It's got a lot of depth to it, and it's so
Yes,
much fun.
and there's so much space for PCs to do whatever you want to do, right? So even most of these kingdoms, so to speak, these areas, mostly wildland, all
Absolutely.
wide open space.
Absolutely.
It's great. I love this world.
Yeah, it's vast, and there's a lot of diverse landscape in all these different regions too. They've done a good job of like the flavor is there, and it makes sense. Like it's a beautiful thing,
Uh-huh.
beautiful place.
Yeah.
Ed Greenwood, hats off to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Vast. You say vast. Like if you superimpose a map of the United States over this sea of fallen stars, like this sea is literally longer than the U.S. is, right? Isn't it that big? Right?
Yeah, it's huge.
Huge. Huge land.
Yeah.
I love it.
So your route though.
After an uneventful trip to the Isle, then what happens?
Little hand wave, just some hand wave to the aisle. No, I mean, you guys are basically going to be once you settle in and you drop off whatever it is you feel like dropping off. I feel like uh, um, at first you're probably going to be less trusting, and you might just carry most of your stuff, and then later on you might decide, I'll leave some of my food hanging and then carry some. And then, as time goes on, maybe you're more comfortable to leave more, but you guys let me know if that changes. But you report back to the top of the deck, and Ifao basically starts giving you some direction on getting some of the cargo bins. So he'll have Griff, um, and he gets a summary of your skills. He's gotten a summary of your skills from Furbus. So he's assigning you tasks that he thinks are within your skills, and he has Griff tying down some cargo that's on the top deck, so that as they pass through the Veil, if they encounter rough seas, they don't have to worry about doing that in the fog. So he's got you just basically, pulling rope
Area
and
and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then I think for Seharn, who would be comfortable on a ship, and Kurza, who's comfortable on the ship, maybe not as experienced, but still comfortable on a ship. He's gonna have both of you guys inspect the mast and the ropes that connect for the front sail. He wants you guys to double check everything, and then also wants you to begin to assist with disembark. So you guys are going to be aiding in getting untied from the harbor and actually pushing off from the dock side too. So you both are like doing some of those tasks, and um, anything else that you guys are curious about or anything before we get onto the boat fully here?
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna ask around, like the veil that we have to pass through this thing. What does that feel like? What do sailors think about that? There any gloom, dark foreboding? What's it like? What's the rumors of this thing?
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I think the reaction you might get would vary, where you'd spark a few opinions, where somebody, when you ask that question, would say it's unnatural, it feels unnatural, and then others would be like, oh, he's just afraid, he's just scared, it's nothing.
As far as I know, this doesn't affect the sea, right? This is an above sea phenomenon, above surface anyway. Like my people don't have any knowledge of this.
uh Yeah, as far as you know, like what would be noticeable to your people is that it would get dark, and so you probably would have awareness of it, and you would know
Total
that it's
mystery.
in this region,
Uh-huh.
that it seems to occur in this region, specifically near the Earth Fasts, and the Dragon Reach is where it's known to occur. So let's see. Let's see what else I can tell you about the Veil, if there is anything else. But I think it would spark, some difference in opinions, where some think that it's like a curse, or something that's been created versus something natural. Um,
Yeah, it's a long going phenomenon. Like, how far back does this go?
it it seems to start, somewhere just to the east of Sembia, and builds and then moves its way towards the Earthfast Mountains, and kind of encompasses the whole region
Uh-huh.
to some
And it's
extent.
been going on for months, years, weeks,
It has been going on for years.
years.
Years, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should be a little leery, guys. Talks of sea monsters, nothing like that going on.
Not that you've heard. No,
All right,
nothing like that.
all right, all right. I'm done being
You do
paranoid.
know. I'll say this, and this would be something too that maybe Kurza would have told you. I don't know. You can tell us if that's the case, Chris. But you do know about dragon turtles being in this region also. Um,
Oh, that's true. We have run across a couple of those the last time.
That sounds like a sea monster.
yep.
A lot of people
Well,
would call
considering
that a
they were being directed by the Sahaquin, I would say yes.
uh,
Yep. So,
the-
well, yeah, you don't know anything like that is happening, but you do know that they've been seen, north of the Pirate Isles before. Um,
Well,
but
was
you
it
don't have
actually
any you
being?
don't have any reason to believe they're the cause of the veil. I'm just saying that it does happen to be
Yeah, I don't
coincidental.
know that they're necessarily connected.
yeah,
Um,
this is like an armored dragon to my people. Swims and flies above us. Yeah,
And I think your people would have a very somewhat neutral uh, position towards it.
they're not they're not that aggressive,
Right,
really.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you would see it as more of a creature than a
yeah.
beast. Yeah.
well,
Um,
it did just attack the. What was it? It attacked not our ship, but the other
the
ship that was
Sahagin.
attacking us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
Uh,
said it was under control, so it might not be the
I'm not
creature's
sure if it
fault.
was under control or not. Now that I think about it,
Hmm. And I
the
think
sharks
spiritually,
they were riding were, but not the sea turtle was just too humongous. Was it larger than the galleon?
oh yeah. Let me find the artwork for
Yeah,
this.
because I think it was. Yeah, it was just humongous, and for whatever reason, it attacked the galleon, the Sahaquin ship that they were attacking us with, and took it out. So
the,
I'm not certain.
the turtle attacked the Sahaquin ship, the enemy.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe it's your friend.
I don't think I have that map anymore because of
Well, that's
the
okay.
fact that we made a new session. But yeah, I will find it for next time. And as you get there, it would be cool to pull that back up and show that um, scale to you because it's certainly dwarfs your ship.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's huge. But with that, I think I'll put you guys on the deck of the ship a little bit too and show you what our ship is gonna kind of look like. Um, real quick, let's see if I can find it.
I look at this map and I want to go break out my box sets, man. I have a lot of 2E stuff. A lot of it is Forgotten Realms.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I love being able to grab that stuff and pluck, facts and lore and
Uh-huh.
just learning just so many things. Like we said, it's not only is it a vast setting, but they've filled in a lot of it with great information. You can really, find
Sure,
something about everything. It seems like they've covered all
sure,
the corners. Um,
sure. I have the Volos Guide and the Encyclopedia of the Realms, those editions, and then other box sets that go in there, like Myth Draenor and
yeah,
that sort of thing. Yeah,
those
yeah.
are best.
A couple of Ravenloft box sets and additional
They have
supplements.
cannons on it.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah.
this boat does have a couple of guns on it. It does.
Excellent.
More than just a couple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on a side.
Yep. Yeah, this is another galleon just like the one you guys brought before, and this unlike that one, the that other galleon you were on, they it was kind of like used in battle quite a bit, whereas this one looks like it's not. Some of these haven't never been fired. But in your opinion, when you look at them, everything seems so
Are the
unused.
are there actually cannon or is it something else?
No, they are. I forget what they call them. There's a name for it. It's like a cannon basically. It's an older version of a
Precursor.
medieval
Okay.
cannon basically. I forget the name now, but
Not quite a blunderbuss, but
right. It's almost like that though. Um, yeah, I don't see the image now, so I'm gonna stop looking, or I'll be sitting here sifting through these images for hours without finishing up. But you guys, again, would have the ability to go up and down on the boat as you need to. I'm going to drop you onto the top deck for purposes of probably leaving us on this map after the session because it's
No
probably
apparent reason.
where we'll pick up.
Yep.
Let me see.
Seems fair.
So would
Any
you
other things that you guys want to ask of, folks, like as you're talking about the veil and whatnot, there is, a lot of other things we'll talk about that are taking place in and on the ship as you start to get, disembarked.
I just want to get a feel for the crew, mostly human, or not.
Great question. So yeah, they are mostly human. You do see a couple dwarves, a couple elves, but probably 80% human.
Okay. No familiar dwarves, right?
Let's see. The dwarf.
The two
No,
you know?
no, you don't recognize these dwarves.
Okay.
dwarves aren't typically seagoing peoples anyway.
Well,
Elves
we
might.
rescued a couple of them though when we from
Yeah.
the Sahaquins, so
Yeah.
that's why I ask.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we're loading up right now. Or
Yeah,
getting
yeah.
ready to go to sea?
You guys are,
Okay.
finishing all of your tasks, and the boat disembarks. You guys begin to leave the port area, the harbor area. Seems like it left, pretty much on time. Doesn't look like you guys are behind schedule as far as the Ifao is concerned. He seems pleased right now with the timing, and you guys set off. So shortly after you set off, you're allowed to sort of roam about the ship, talk with folks. People are starting to settle in. Some folks are, sitting down playing some cards. Others are keeping to themselves or finding their spot and taking a nap. So you guys would have some downtime on the boat to, have conversations or check things out.
Is this a skeleton crew or more towards the fully a full crew?
You think that the crew is close to full, probably
Okay.
90% full.
Sure. We're
So
just filling
he
in.
got his he
But
got enough people in the end just before he left.
yeah, I think though one problem is that, you guys will be leaving the ship at some point along the way.
True.
So maybe they're a little more shorthanded than after that, but right now it
That's where,
seems like they've got enough.
yeah, that's where.
Is Efal the captain?
No, he's not.
No,
He's
like the
just
ship's mate, right?
he's just a deck leader.
Okay.
He's just one of
But
the
lead deckhand. So.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
Well, I was gonna say you would have begun to hear them talking about the captain at some point, and you would have heard about Onan is the captain's name, and so they're like Captain Onan. You hear people in conversation saying that, so you pretty much quickly pick up on the fact that that's your captain's name. However, you've not yet seen the captain or dealt with the captain. They have, everything kind of running smoothly at this point.
Okay.
Well, that gives me
Um,
confidence.
yeah, and I guess if I'm able to strike up any conversations with anybody, just kind of try to pick up accents and maybe even ask, where they're from.
Yeah, yeah. So I think you would recognize that most of the accents sound as if they're not from your region. Yeah, I wonder, you've probably not encountered people from this far west before that often, but I'm sure you've been around town or around people long enough that you would start to get a general sense that they're from the west, and so most of them sound that way. However, the ones that don't seem like they're sort of more the ones that joined at the last minute, like you did. That there's a group
There's
of crew that joined sort of towards the end, like you all did. They were looking to get out of town, for their own reasons, and they're a part of the crew, and they have accents that sound Eastern to you,
so
for the most
the
part.
main crew is sailing toward home, not away from home.
Right, the
It's not
core
a
crew.
okay.
Hmm.
I
So it
just
is
thought.
truly like Westgate. Right?
So we're just barely aboard ship at this point, like a few hours,
Right, yeah, just
right?
sailing out. Yep.
So is it curious if like anybody's watching us? Perhaps someone signed aboard as deckhand, because you have people following you in town, right? Maybe they wanted to follow you to sea.
Yeah,
Anybody
I was
watching
gonna
us?
say,
Yeah,
I'll watch the new crew more closely than the older crew.
if we can
Just
make
see if
that
I can get
distinction,
any. Yeah, see if I can get
Out for fire knives.
right?
fire knives. Get the smell of fire knives, so to speak.
Right, because Jamie might be a sneaky DM and send a spy after us. We need to know these things.
And yeah, any disturbances on shore as we take off.
Okay, yeah, so, well, as you guys are leaving town and looking back towards Procampur, it's just a buzz of things that are going on because of the coming veil, and so it's as busy as you've seen it any part of the town. As you're looking back on the town, you don't see anything, a lot of commotion. You do see, people that are just sort of lingering about on the docks that you don't know what they're doing, but nothing that really like sets off your suspicions.
All
and
right,
and as you get past the greater wall side of Procamper, and you're able to look back on it then, and you're like in awe because you can see the form that they made around the harbor and the walls for the city, and it starts to really give you perspective. At that point, you also then notice, and you hear some of the people on top deck point out, the veil comes. And as you look the opposite direction towards the west, you see in the distance this wall of fog that's just massive from the sea, top of the water to the end of your vision, and
Deep
it's
into the sky, huh?
yeah, it's absolutely just all consuming, and you're still several miles away from it, but it's just something that even most of the seasoned sailors take a stop and look at it, because you
Sailing
don't
away
see it
from
all
it
the
or toward
time,
it?
but toward it now. Yeah, you're going to be going right into it.
I thought they'd maybe sail south to skirt it if they could. But
maybe
So
they.
the I'll basically fill in for Ifao, hearing you guys maybe making those comments, right? And he would say the captain knows what he's doing. He's conquered the veil.
Yeah, didn't some of the
excellent.
sailors say it was no big deal? Like that guy was just afraid, so like maybe it is no big deal.
I wouldn't
Or
have
we
any
get
idea. I'd
attacked by
never
a
seen
sea
it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we will find out on the next session what happens here, and we'll see who's able to join us here on aboard the Reverie, headed west, finally back towards where we have a lot of loose ends to follow up on. And I think you guys have made some really great progress today, and some good connections and some really good role playing. So um, we'll close it out here. And anybody have anything they wanted to add or do to
Um,
wrap before, like, as the scene closes
the
here on the aboard the boat?
four guys who attacked us, were any of those faces the same as the two that were watching Molly in the stadium?
That's a great question. That's a really great question.
Because
No,
I
that
got close enough to those two
Mm-hmm.
to probably identify them.
Yeah,
And looking at the 4 that attacked us, I'd probably be able to tell if they were familiar or not.
you think that one of them looked familiar. You think that one of them looked familiar of the 4.
The boss or the flunky?
The flunky. Yeah.
That's what I thought. Okay.
So we're hitting our bunks on the first night, and Kurz all of a sudden pops awake. He's like, "Hey, wait a minute! I remember that
Well,
guy."
I had enough time to stop and think,
Yeah, yeah, it's kind
Right,
of
yeah.
that's kind of how those things happen. So
Yeah.
I get it, but yeah, we'll fill in some of those blanks, and I'll set
Because
up
we
some
haven't
more of
even read the
this.
papers that we're on these guys.
That's true. You
So,
have things to research.
well, what do you think about putting out there maybe just a gathering, not a game session, but sometime between now and the next one? Then we can talk about if that's a good idea, whether we could do it regularly or
Yeah,
just have a half
yeah.
hour or whatever.
I love the
And
idea. I'd love the idea. And it would be good. I mean,
That could
it's
work.
it's about threading the needle and finding a time that everybody's available. That's really what it pretty much all boils down to. Um, and
sure.
I think
Won't be
Thursdays and
mandatory, but
Fridays are usually pretty good for everybody. So I'll see if I can find an hour or so for us to get together before next session so that we have a bridge
Is there
session.
yeah,
If
is
you,
there a channel on Discord that's just for players, or is it
Well, our
for us?
AD&D room is the one that we use for all the players usually. I did have a players guild channel. I haven't been maintaining it though, and so because I have I have a Pathfinder game that's going on also. And so I could put all of you into the guild where you could talk with one another. And it's a good place to meet other players of other games, that are on the channel too. Um, so yeah, I could do that. I could get that going. But for the most part, we just use the AD&D Second Edition channel. So
so could you post a time when you have? I would like you to be there for sure as a DM, but
yeah,
maybe
I'll put it into the schedule sign up channel. If you're thinking, Wayne, that there's a really good day or time that works for you, um, let me know. But
no,
sometimes,
no. I work you know. I'm the guy who gets paid for 122 hours per pay period of work time.
yeah,
Like Friday's my only guaranteed day off. Then I work typically every other Saturday, like a
yes.
14-hour shift. So,
So maybe we
uh,
just shoot for next Friday, to do some time before I hop onto Kevin's game. Um, we could do that. Yeah. So
yeah.
I'll post that and see who's available, see who can jump in, and we'll do some catch up and some intros and
Is
other
that
things.
Friday night, Kevin's game?
Yeah.
Is it? Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to interfere with that either. If
Well, no,
it's your
I
game.
like I'm saying, I think we would maybe do it a little earlier, and it would be a shortened thing, at least for me. You guys be welcome to use it as long as you want, but at 9 o'clock I'll need to jump. So
Yeah. Well, I think us getting to know each other as people and then,
yeah,
table talk.
All right.
Table talk is missing from virtual tables. We don't do
that's true.
table talk is
okay,
so
well
good.
that's what we'll call it then. It's gonna
Like
be the table talk
the
is what we're
table
gonna call
talk,
it. Yeah, I like
right?
it. I like it. That's a
Makes
great idea.
things click. Makes things click. That's where the DM gets all the ideas to where the story
Which is
might
so
go.
enjoyable when you've put the thought and care into your character and you've made them unique but not outlandish. Like that balance, between those two things. I think it's really great. Like you've both done a good job of that, and I think the others will really love, your characters and everything too. So I'm looking forward
Thank
to it.
you.
I'll set up the table talk and we'll see if we can't, hang out a little bit and get to know each other more.
Yeah, be
Yeah,
great.
cool.
All right,
Yeah,
guys. I'll let you
Alrighty.
get on with your evening. I know
peace.
everybody's got stuff going on tomorrow, so have a nice weekend.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow's
Yep.
my
Thanks,
weekend.
Jamie.
I
Yeah.
got
Thanks, guys.
See ya.
yeah. Bye.
Good night, guys.